medicine.
Oh, okay.
We like to do stunts. This is what our friendship is about.
Our friendship is 100% based in sick stunts.
My
sick
bane
flips.
is
Stunting on fools. That's what we do.
This is why every time I play a sick flip wizard.
Shit, yeah.
And we love you for it, Kit. We love you for this.
Thanks. It's either that or just a little guy. I may have fallen back into my just a little guy ways, but
nothing wrong with just little guys.
Sorry.
I met you in your just a little guy ways.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, that's what.
Which
that's
little
what,
guy?
The
Darcy?
Yes. Darcy was very
Darcy is
just
kind
a
of...
little guy.
Darcy turned into more of a little guy than I expected them to. I was like, Darcy's gonna be like weird and a little bit of a hoe, and then that didn't happen. How did you turn
Not for lack of trying
over there? What?
You tried. You tried so much.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about Craig.
You made Craig evil and then deceased. How dare you?
Okay,
he wasn't evil.
He wasn't
possessed.
Evil, and I didn't make him deceased. That is on Alex.
Okay, I can't believe my brother killed my boyfriend. This is upsetting. I understand that boyfriend is a strong term, but I have strong feelings. So
crimes in another life.
Crimes and schemes. Oh, and she has acquired the position. She's assumed the position for crying. You can't see
good.
her.
Excellent.
But she's back there, ready to cry.
Cats
At a
do be
moment's
like
notice.
that.
It's true. How many disciplines do we get? I thought it said, but
Two.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
I took alchemy and arcane knowledge.
That makes sense. That
I think
makes
the
sense.
alchemy would go hand in hand since the Keratinists, if I'm pronouncing that right, also either are in like combat or beauty school. So
that is true. I mean, honestly, it's a one shot. If you're like, hey, I have this thing, I'm going to be like, sure you do. That works. So feel free to use that against me at any moment you decide.
What?
Awesome.
I think diplomacy and crime makes it. Is crime committing crimes or being aware of like the criminal justice system?
Why not both?
I feel like
which
law.
would you prefer?
Law
doing
would probably be
doing
criminal
crimes,
justice
please.
system.
I would like to commit crimes.
Crime is doing crimes.
Excellent, thank you. I will be doing crimes.
Love crime.
Hell yeah!
I love this energy
girls
that we
doing
are bringing. This is going to be a time. Hi, hello everyone. If you just happen to stumble in here, whether that is here on Twitch or later on YouTube, we are live from the Apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for aid organizations and progressive causes, and we do that by doing streams like this. I love that we are capturing Della getting a selfie in this moment. Beautiful.
It was
Iconic.
adorable.
It's in character. I'm fucking fabulous. I'm just in character right now. Everything I do is
so
fabulous.
excited.
Everything you do is on purpose and for the bit.
Absolutely iconic. This is going to be an iconic night, I think. But yes, we are here to raise money. If you are here tonight and you are able to, you can donate at any time by clicking the donate link. It is where the subscribe button would be. If you do that, the McElroy brothers will yell specifically at me. My players may yell as well. I have given them permission to do that. We can all yell together when this happens. That way we can share in the joy. But also, if you're just trying to throw me off, you can just donate, and that will mean I am distracted. And if I am doing a narration or at a particularly intense emotional moment, that is a great time to completely throw me off my game, and I will respect that. Amazing. Chrissy, iconic. Absolutely iconic.
Sorry, I was also chiming in over here.
I am loving it. The vibes are immaculate. So yes, donate. We are currently raising money for Rainbow Railroad. The Canadian branch, we raised $1,000. For the United States branch, we've now moved on to Canada. Going to raise $1,000 for them too. They do incredible work. They help LGBT people get from unsafe locations to safer ones, and we want to support that.
Yeah, Justin, fucking grip it, baby. Slop that down, dude.
Hell yeah.
Dude, crack one for the big boy.
Thank you for screaming along, Chrissy. I appreciate that. That is what happens when you donate. I get thrown off. Our cast may yell. It will be beautiful. The button may be a little broken right now, but that's okay. We can still see that it is happening. So yes, thank you for the donation, Cass. You are amazing. So yes, if you are able to donate, please do that. If you would subscribe to us, rather than subscribing, just donate. If you are determined to subscribe, maybe you have like an Amazon Amazon. I can't speak, which is going to be great for tonight.
It's fine. It's been a
Take it
week.
again.
Gonna take a breath. Gonna take a moment. Amazon Prime subscription. There we go. You can throw that our way, but please keep in mind, we discourage you from doing this. Intensely discourage you from doing this. Bad things will happen. In fact, Brennan Lee Mulligan, beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master, will kill one dog for every month you have been subscribed. We have killed 45 dogs this week. 45. Do you want to contribute to that number? I don't think you do. But if you choose to do so, just make sure you can sleep at night. And if you can, I suppose you can go ahead.
Fitz is
Otherwise,
all out of family.
Donate to Rainbow
We're
Railroad.
running out of them.
So tonight is a little bit different than what we usually do. Usually we do ongoing series or shorter series. Tonight we are doing a one-shot of In Extremis, a Locked Tomb inspired TTRPG based on the Lumen system. And I'm very, very, very excited. We have a bunch of Locked Tomb fans in the cast. We have some that we are bringing around to our cause. And there is going to be plenty of bones to go around tonight. So with that, I am going to have each of my players introduce themselves, let you know where you can find them, and then say who they are playing and which archetype their character is. Starting with you, Della.
Ah, shit. Hi, I'm Della. I'm playing Veil Binder. I'm the Muscle Witch.
We love to see it. How about you, Kit?
It's me. Hi, I'm Kit. You can find me places online at Kit Roll. Look for me. Tonight I will be Petra Idolum, the Seer playbook. We do ghosts here.
We do ghosts as well as bones.
As well as bones, yes. A healthy mix.
A healthy mix. And next, Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Chrissy and Keller. I am playing Antigone Tetra, and they're the Neuromancer. And yeah, there's so many fun things that you can do with nerves. Did you know that? You're gonna find out.
That was one of the more threatening statements I've gotten in an introduction, and I love that. Yes, nerve facts, Steph. Nerve facts, and in fact, Steph, you are up next.
Hi, I'm Steph. I'll be playing Vesper Anastasios. She is a Keratinist, which is hair and nails. So we're gonna have fun with that.
We are manipulating a lot of different things tonight, and I love it. This is going to be a time. And I, of course, must introduce myself. I always pretend that I do not have to do that. I am JD. You can find me on social media at JD Not Jason Dean, and I will be playing everyone else. And so with that, I am going to first give some content warnings. Because yes, this is Locked Tomb inspired, and if you happen to stumble into this not knowing that, we definitely want you to be forewarned, because things like body horror, are a definite factor. We will not be going into too graphic detail, but as you heard, people are able to manipulate different parts of the body, and that is going to happen, and it may be a little horrifying and or unpleasant at moments. So be forewarned on that. With this group, I feel like there's a good chance some level of torture might happen to someone at some point. There's going to be ghosts. There's going to be hauntings. There's going to be violence. There's going to be weaponry. There's going to be some blood and gore. Again, we're not going to get overly explicit. If you've read The Locked Tomb, you're probably fine. If you have not read The Locked Tomb, be mindful of these things. And if you need to step away, we understand. There's a reason this is called In Extremis, because we are going to be getting extreme. So, with that, I think it is time to jump right in. And so, with that, I should also mention existential horror is going to be a component as well. So keep that in mind too.
Oh, good.
And that came to my mind because of where we are beginning. Because we are beginning in the void of space. There are stars and planets, but not the way that we usually see stars and planets. This is not watching through a telescope. This is standing in the midst of a nebula and seeing the purples and blues and reds stretching out around you. The stars themselves are bright enough to burn, and the planets that we see are scarred and damaged, with clear indications of the blight and ruin from the ongoing war with the Corvid Dominion. Well, almost all of them are scarred and damaged. There's 1, 2, 3, in all we count 7 that have been laid to waste and ruin, though not necessarily rendered uninhabitable. There is one, though, one remaining that has been, so far, unscathed by the ravages of war. And around it, as we move towards it, we see spaceships. But are these spaceships? They're made of what looks like flesh and blood and bone and muscle and titanium. And there is something about their size and shape and movement that almost gives the appearance of something like a whale, but not a whale that we've ever seen on Earth. But these ships, these behemoths as they are called, have their business, and that is not our business for tonight, because tonight we are continuing moving out of orbit onto the planet of Hecate, which, for all intents and purposes, does not look unlike our world. Not unless you start looking just a bit more closely. The sudden growing of nails at a rate that is far from normal, creating claws in an instant. Jewelry made from pieces of bone that move in a way that is defying gravity in the way that they're staying in place, not held up by anything other than sheer will. A person whose eyes glow as they pick up an item in a thrift shop and gain a lifetime of impressions from that item in an instant. A figure just walking around with a fucking sword on their back because, like, honestly, why not? So a world like ours, but not our world. And before we settle in, as we just kind of initially catch the glimpse of a car, it looks rather like a Humvee that is making its way through the streets, the windows tinted so that we cannot see the occupants. Before we go inside, I have a question for each of my characters. Before we begin, I would love for you to tell me, starting with Vale, what do you imagine death is like? No, you are muted, Della.
I don't spend a lot of time thinking about death because, like, what's the fucking point, right? I think a lot about how you want to die. You don't want to think about the death or glory moment, and you're hoping you get the or glory, right? But sometimes, at some point, you're gonna eat it, right? I figure that death, if it's good, if you've got a good death, is a moment stretching into eternity where you feel everything perfect, crystal clear. And you know you died right. When you know you died right, it doesn't matter that you're never going to wake up again because you don't need to wake up again. You are the perfect instrument. You are the perfect tool. And you have performed your function. That's death.
Enlightening, Vale. Enlightening. Petra, what about you? What do you imagine death is like?
I don't have to imagine what death is like. I see it every day. I stare into the veil and it talks back to me with the faces of everyone I've loved. Death is a reunion, and it's just a change of pace. Death isn't the end. It's not a place that you go, it's a state of being. And it is a state of being, not of stopping, because you still are. Just another place to be.
A wise answer. Antigone, how about you?
It's black, but not bleak. The moment you pass as a person, every bit of what's left of you, every bit of, oh gosh, what's the word? Is it the energy? Um, every memory, every feeling, every passionate, powerful moment that made up you moves on to power something else. You know, a corpse can't contain that much power forever anyway.
A useful answer. And last but not least, Vesper.
Death is a land that we cannot reach with these bodies we still inhabit. We know it exists from the spirits that can be pulled forth and spoken to. If I have to imagine it, it would be a place that is free of the worries you carried in life, because those worries are staying with your body. Beyond the veil, you are free and you are powerful, and you cannot be tied down or fettered there. There's nothing to contain you.
A thoughtful answer. Answers all that I think may say more about each of your characters than the descriptions I am about to ask for in another moment. Because as we move into the inside of that Humvee and can now see who is beyond those tinted windows, we see the four of you and your driver, who is currently in the process of taking you to the Elite Academy Novum, where no one is quite sure what happens, but it is where the elite of the elite go for their training. And you have all been sent there on a mission. The specifics of that we'll get into in just a moment, but for you, Vale, what do we see as we look in? How are you positioned? And what do you look like?
Vale is a uh, nearly 6 foot tall woman with long, sort of like wild black hair. Uh, she's got she's got like she's got big eyeliner, which Petra knows is not because she likes big eyeliner, but because she's so bad at putting on eyeliner that one eye is bigger than the other, so she tries to make it match, and then she puts on the other eyeliner. She tries to fix it, and then it's still backwards. So now it just winds up being a big stripe across her face. So listen, these are true stories. This is you got every true character has a piece of you in it, and this is me. Uh Vale is absolutely just ripped, just completely shredded. Um, and she is probably sitting in the back of the Humvee with her arms way up on the back, fully like man spreading, just taking up as much space as possible with a huge great sword across her lap, or possibly in between her legs with the pommel sticking up at the ceiling, and just kind of like uh, either criticizing whatever song is on the radio or singing along with whatever song is on the radio.
I mean, the question has to be asked. You were given the option of who would control the music. Who's controlling the music?
You don't want to give Petra that power because you will not be giving Petra that power. You will be giving Petra and about 15 other spirits that power. And that's not, we don't need that. You don't
Yeah.
Whole Petra putting on a
It's
whole
not
lot of
cohesive. It will not
psychedelic
be
folk
cohesive.
music.
Oh no. Okay. If it's a question of who cares the most, Vale will immediately put on something, and it's whatever the in universe equivalent of fucking like Linkin Park. It's like new metal shit.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
New
She has
titanium. Like
Yeah. Yes, she has strong feelings about music and terrible taste.
Again, iconic behavior is happening here tonight. So you are in control of the tunes. You've got the sword across your lap. You're thinking back to where you were just about 2 hours ago because this all happened very fast.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, how do you imagine your school, the gym, looks to an outside observer? And especially, what does the obstacle course inside look like?
Imagine American Ninja Warrior. Imagine the Ultimate Beastmaster. Imagine all those fucking obstacle course shows, Tough Mudder, every single one of those things, like mash them all together. It is insane. People die. People have died trying to get across this obstacle course. And you know what happens then? Their bones get used to build the obstacle course. That is an honor, man. It's the honor they deserve. You die here, you thrive here. It doesn't matter. So the obstacle course is one of my favorite things to do because there's always that risk, man. There's always that risk. You could die. You could just completely eat it, fall into the fucking lava pit. Oh well, get gassed, bitch. Get knifed, bitch. Who knows? It's gonna happen. It could happen. I got knifed last week. Didn't hit anything vital. That was really good. And you know what? I got stitched back together and it was fantastic. But now my blood's on that course. My blood's making that course stronger and it's making the next generation stronger. And that's what being a muscle witch is about.
Absolutely fucking
I
incredible,
love Vale
Della.
so much.
Vale is entirely inspired, I want to note. I don't know if she's here, but is entirely inspired by every wrestling cant rant that Eden has ever been on in a game.
Amazing.
So
Shout out to
shout
Eden.
out to Eden.
Shout out to Eden. So you are in the midst of running, jumping, climbing, fighting your way through this course. And he isn't yelling encouragement or anything like that, but every so often you catch sight of the head of the school, Oz, watching you. Almost as soon as you see him, he is gone again. He knows ways to get around this obstacle course that no one else does, and he is very good at appearing at just the perfect moment to startle you, and then like immediately disappearing and just going back to watching.
He's so cool. He's just so cool.
And we really only catch like brief sights of him until the end, when you are at that final obstacle, the tallest one, the hardest one to get over, and he appears on the top just as you reach it. He is about 5'5". He similarly is ripped, and he swings a sword down right at you, Vale. What do you do?
Well, I'm a little bit below him, right? I've just hiked myself up, right? So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna whip out my knife. I'm gonna whip out my knife, and you know what? I'm not even gonna fucking go. I'm not trying to block him. I'm not gonna do anything like that. I'm gonna go for his ankles.
Incredible.
I'm gonna go right around, and I'm gonna go for the back of his ankles. I will no longer brandish this. I just wanted to do that once.
No, that was amazing. I'm just going to, pretend it didn't happen, and
It didn't
I'm
happen.
sure it'll be
It
fine.
It'll be fine.
We saw nothing. It wasn't actually a knife.
No, it wasn't. It was a shovel.
Exactly. That's a true statement for the record.
It is also
actually
actually a true statement. It's a garden knife. It's fine.
Spade is
It's a shovel of souls. You
It's-
Yeah,
shovel the
yes,
souls.
shovel of souls.
correct.
Yeah, that's standard muscle witch doctrine. It's the shovel of souls. You know,
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Uh,
eloquent.
you get in trouble. You have to dig out a new latrine with the shovel of souls. It's what happens. That's how
Very inefficient, but it's poignant.
Yeah,
right?
you know.
Incredible. So yeah, you have these immediate fast reflexes, because I mean, Oz has done this to you enough times that there's a part of you that's expecting it, although you never really know when he's actually going to try to interfere to like fuck you up and make you get completely thrown off.
Mhm.
He sees it coming, he jumps and the knife misses him, but he looks impressed and then offers his hand to you to pull you the rest of the way up.
I will accept. He's too cool. He's probably gonna push me off. It's fine. I'll die. It's fine.
And you are kind of expecting that. You're like, help doesn't just like show up. Like that is not how we operate as muscle witches. But he just pulls you the rest of the way up, despite the difference in your size. Like you are a good 7 inches taller than him, and puts the sword that he was holding on his back and says, "Hey, that was a whole minute faster than last time.
Shit, yeah.
Good work."
I was aiming for speed. I was aiming for speed this time. So I'm glad it's working. I'm glad the training's working, man. This shit's great.
Let's see if you can cut it down by another 30 seconds the next time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And I think we're going to be putting in something soon that you're really going to like.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, not going to tell you too much about it, but teeth are a factor.
All right. Cool. Teeth. Are we talking like grinding? Are we talking like chopping? Like what kind of
We're
teeth?
talking chomping, and we're talking scattered over things to make them slippery. And we're talking sharp, and we're talking large, and we're talking small. It's a whole collection.
The whole collection. Oh man, it's the whole situation. It's the whole
Exactly.
situation. Ah, the whole dental situation. Ah, I hate that for me. I'm gonna invest in knee pads.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Ah,
We're not using that shit. What
Shit.
the hell are you talking about, Vale?
Shit.
We don't do that shit.
Shit, you're right. You're right. Whatever. All right. Oh, I got it. Sorry, there's a mosquito.
You are too in character, Della.
Like Vale literally jumped out.
It was a mosquito. It was fine.
In character, Vale snatches a mosquito from the air.
Yeah. You know. Anyway.
Push it.
Dope. Dope. Teeth. Hate that. I'll figure it out. Sick.
Meantime, though, I've got something special for you. If you think you're up for it.
All right. I'm probably up for it.
I'm hoping you are. You are the one who is top of your class, and you just shaved a whole fucking minute off, so you better be up for this shit. I'm gonna be sending you, along with a team of 3 others, to Novum.
No fucking way.
Not like that. Not yet. It's going to depend on how all of this goes, but if it goes well, this could be your ticket into the school.
No fucking way. Oz. Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible.
It's serious shit though, Vale. It's
Yeah.
not good. We think that the Corvus Dominion have infiltrated. And we need you and the others you'll be working with to find out if that's true. And if it's true, I need you to do what you do best. What do you do best, Vale?
I fucking break heads.
That's right. You fucking do.
Vale like looks like she's about to say something, like looks like she's like, but just kind of like gets a little bit overcome with emotion, and it just kind of like shoulder bumps, like not like shoulder checks, but like shoulder bumps. Oz, and it's just like, this is fucking great. This is incredible. This is incredible. I'm gonna uh I'm gonna I'm gonna go do some push-ups about it.
Do that. You roll out in 2 hours.
2 hours? I'm not gonna do any push-ups about it. Okay, I might do like 6 push-ups about it, but I'm gonna have to fucking pack. Holy shit. Who else is going? You know who's going? Like as she's like walking backwards toward the edge of the opposite edge of the platform.
Yeah. You'll be working with a couple of people, some of whom I think you know. You'll be working with Antigone, Petra,
Hey,
and Vesper.
sick. That's amazing. I will go pack my stuff. And she is going to fully like flip off the back of the platform, like grab onto a rope, swing down, kicking out, arcing wide, and like uh do a bunch of sick flips off of different rings and different obstacles, basically dismounting from the course in the most elaborate and insane fashion she possibly can.
And Oz just calls after you. Failed, those moves look fucking amazing, but if you have time to do that, you have time for 60 push-ups. You better give me 60 push-ups.
Fuck! Drops, does 60 push-ups. Just fully like lets go of a ring, hits the ground, and starts doing push-ups.
Absolutely incredible. Who do we think is sitting next to Vale? Or closest to Vale? Petra, would you please
Hey.
describe yourself?
So in stark contrast to Vale, Petra's probably 5 foot and change, if that. Just smaller, scrawny, just a little thing, just a little guy. Don't worry about it. Uh, but she's sort of, you know, dress a little bit more properly, a more, I don't want to say school uniform, but it's not unlike that. Keeps her hair very short and dark, like a bob, but like cropped up so high that like it's off of her neck, sort of situation. And just the darkest blue eyes that you have ever seen. Like they look black or brown from a distance. Um,
Would you
and
say they're
she's
cerulean orbs?
I don't know that I'd go cerulean. Perhaps a bit. Upon closer inspection, one might consider them cerulean. I would allow that. I think, in the right light, of course.
Of course.
Of course. And I think, quick question for Vale. Are you gonna get mad at me if I touch your sword?
Nah, all the ladies can touch my sword.
Okay, cool. Noted. So I think Petra's sort of sitting with like next to Vale with her head sort of like against the window, as you do when you're on a long car ride, just sort of, staring out and doing your mental music videos. Except for instead of the mental music videos, she sort of got her hand on the blade of Vale's sword, just sort of like that way that you like run a finger like short ways across the blade of a knife, just sort of like hanging out, vibing. And she's sort of pulling the like the history of the object, just as she casually does. So she's distracting herself from what's going on and from the spirits that are wont to bother her, by purposefully digging into all of the fun little battles that Vale's been up to, all of like all the cool sick flips. So that then Vale doesn't have to like recount all of the stories. She still probably likes to, but I'm entertaining myself at this point. So that's kind of what Petra's up to. Just a little guy, just keeping to herself, just hanging out, nodding along to the music. I don't get it, but I get it.
Absolutely incredible. And Petra, as you are getting the impressions and the memories of some of the amazing, badass, and iconic things that Vale has done, you too think back to where you were just a few hours ago. And I'm going to ask you, how do you see the Seers Academy? What does it look like?
I think, given the nature of what the Seers are trained to do, I feel like there is like a physical academy presence somewhere, and it is very much a library. But there's, I would say, even larger than that is there's a lot of off-site internships, a lot of off-site projects, a lot of going on like historical digs, a lot of going to collections of things and piecing together. There's a lot of that sort of training can only be done by doing. The pulling the memories from objects, the getting a feel for the veil and the spirits in it. If you stay in one place, you kind of run out of experiences with that. So I think, especially, as far into our academy training as most of us are, Petra's probably been doing a lot of that lately. So a lot of offsite projects, and then return back to the big massive library of a school. Eerily quiet if you aren't a seer, but if you are, it's loud as hell.
And I think where we find you, Petra, is at one of the offsites. You have been brought in to the ruins of what seems to be, and perhaps was, a cathedral. But you are discovering it was a lot more. It has a whole history beyond that. And your ability with psychometry is in massive demand at this moment, and you have been instructed to read as many items as you can that have been uncovered to, as you said exactly, piece together the history of this place and the layers of the history. And you have mostly been left to your own devices. There is no one observing you. There is no one distracting you in any way. And that is why when you hear footsteps approaching, you are surprised, because the Academy has cut off access to anyone not a spirit, of course, outside of the Academy itself. Which means no one should be here, because this is your project.
Think A, she's very caught off guard. B, she is in the middle of a conversation. Because as much as psychometry is fun and cool and interesting, I came here to talk to ghosts. So that's what I'm gonna do, especially if there's not somebody breathing down my neck telling me that, like, oh, read this rock, right? Like, I'm talking to ghosts. So I think it's very much like caught in the act, like, oh shit. I think the ghost actually tells her that somebody's behind her. She's not great at knowing when people are talking to her.
And I think that's also added to by the fact that the person has not actually attempted to make their presence fully known yet, recognizing
Great.
that you were otherwise occupied, seeing who you were talking to. They did not immediately interrupt, but when the spirit that you've been talking to, and in this instance, it is a member of the clergy that was here when it was an operational cathedral, kind of draws your attention to that, you turn and you see your mentor, Guinevere, standing there. She has long hair that might be that pale blonde where it's almost white, but also might just be white. And there are a lot of moments where she looks as see-through as some of the spirits that you talk to. There is something about her that is clearly not fully tethered to the world any longer.
She's so
And
cool.
and she has just been observing you quietly, but when you turn to her, she nods towards the spirit that you've been talking to and then looks at you and says, I trust this has been a fruitful conversation.
Yes, very, very. Lots of insight that you can't get from a knife that's been tucked in a drawer for decades. Although the knife is very interesting. Found a lot of uh, things about the knife. I've taken notes. Are you why are we ready to go?
Unfortunately, your time is going to be cut short here today, Petra, but rest assured the project will remain yours until your return. And she
Somebody else be by
smiles.
to talk to the ghosts.
I can certainly arrange that if you would like. I just would not want the work that you have been doing to be taken over by another without your permission.
No, I don't want them to get lonely and uh, dislike us for that. They've been very cooperative.
You are always so thoughtful, Petra. I appreciate
Thank you.
that. And I appreciate your attention to detail, that you piece things together from multiple sources rather than making assumptions based on initial impressions.
Impressions can be so deceiving. That's the whole point.
And that is why I have chosen you for a very important mission. You will be traveling to Novum with 3 others on a matter of the utmost importance and urgency.
What do they need read at Novum?
There is concern is not even a strong enough word, but it is the one we will use for the moment. There is concern that the Corvus Dominion has infiltrated. And you are being sent there to discover if that is true and working alongside a team to address the problem before it becomes any more of a problem.
She's thinking for a second. You can see her eyes sort of like get pulled off into another direction and come back a couple of times. Will there be others from the academy or?
Not from our academy, but you will be joining Vesper, Antigone, and Vale.
Very well. When do we leave?
You have 2 hours.
Well, I should say my goodbyes then. Sort of dust off the. I imagine it's ruins. It's very gross in here. Just sort of dust it off. Just massive dusty handprints on a black dress. Absolutely. I should say my goodbyes then. The knife is with the collections. Is there anything else that you need put away, gathered before I go?
With your
Where am I
diligent
going?
notes, I believe we will be in very good hands. Petra.
Yes. Notes.
And Guinevere gives you the time to say your goodbyes to the spirits. You can already see she is making plans for who will be able to stop by in your absence, someone else that she trusts.
Good.
And then you are left to get ready to join the other 3. And with that, who do we have closest to Petra? Is it Vesper or Antigone?
I can be.
Yeah, works for me.
And so with that, please describe Antigone for us, Chrissy.
Antigone is what you would get if you combine the words serpentine and feline. She is lanky. She looks like a dagger turned into a human. There's just something about her that is deadly. She doesn't wear any makeup, and her face has this very uncanny valley vibe to it. Like it's not that she's unattractive, it's just she's very unsettling to look at for too long. She's pale and her eyes are very unsettling violet. And she is dressed in head to toe black. Very tight fitting clothes, boots that go up just above her calves. Her hair is long and black, but it's pulled back in a very Shadowheart style ponytail, like that high long pony. And it's kind of braided with little bits of bones put into it. Um, a gift from her brother. And she's currently like leaning back with her foot propped up against the seat in front of her with one of her daggers out, and her dagger is made of obsidian, and she's cleaning under her nails with it.
Immaculate. Absolutely immaculate.
Vale is in love.
I was going to say, I think everyone is in love. Incredible. And so, Antigone, I'm curious, what does the school of neuromancy look like?
I think they spend a lot of time in labs with cadavers that were ethically donated, of course. It's encouraged of the students and their family members so that, people can learn. And then we also have very high-tech dummies that teach us about different nerve points and different pressure points, such as like this one, like right here. There's also your fingertips, one of the most sensitive places on your body. It's a school designed to teach you those things. And also you learn a lot about the brain, a lot of fun facts about the brain and how to control those things.
So, very kind of sterile laboratory esque, it sounds like.
Yes.
And so, you have been spending some time in the lab doing your work, testing maybe some new things out, and seeing how both the cadavers and the very high level animatronics and mannequins respond. Some say that likely some necromancy went into those to make them the way that they are. Some material may be organic. It's fine. It again was all ethically sourced. And you have been being observed, as you often are, by your mentor, Cam. And he very much has the look of someone who spends his time in laboratories. They have short cropped blonde hair, face is like very pale, has not seen the sun in a very long time. And he is dressed in a lab coat and just observing quietly for the most part, though occasionally inviting you to put a bit more pressure there. And what would happen if you separated that nerve from that one? Let's find out.
Huh, we're gonna need a sharper scalpel.
One day, our hope is that you do not need a scalpel at all. You are an artist that works best by feeling.
Oh, I can try it right now. So I'm gonna attempt to use just a little bit of magic I have to slightly just I would say that we're probably working with the vagus nerve right now. So just
Good choice.
slightly shred that. I'm so sorry, Della's face made me so happy.
I have opinions and concerns. I have opinions and concerns about my vagus nerve.
A mood.
I'm sorry, y'all are getting vagus nerves? I don't. It's news to me.
What happens in the vagus nerve stays in the vagus nerve.
Truth.
Also, what
Significant
doesn't
trauma
happen.
theory disagrees.
Yes.
Ah.
Ah. And so you are watching the cascade of effects that happens as a result of this. And Cam looks pleased with your work, at least as pleased as they ever look.
That's invigorating.
You are such an artist that I could watch this all day, but unfortunately, I have agreed to send you out on some important business.
Am I getting a new toy to play with?
You might be getting many different types of toys to play with, depending on how this goes.
Hmm. Wonderful.
How would you feel about being sent to Novum?
You're serious? I would ask if you're sure I'm ready for that, but of course I am. Yes, let's do this.
It would not be officially as a student, not yet, but if you perform as well as I'm sure you will, I would imagine that admission will be imminently incoming.
I like the sound of that.
I hope you
Imminent
will like,
test for imminent admission.
and I hope you will like the mission itself even more. I think it is well suited to your talents.
Can you tell me more, or do I have to wait?
We believe that the Corvus Dominion have infiltrated the Novum.
Oh. New playthings indeed.
Whether it is getting information or whether it is dealing with the problem, nothing is off the table.
I can do one while I do the other.
That said, do be certain of those you choose to interrogate.
Fine, fine. I'll play nice until I know otherwise.
Good. You have 2 hours.
Oh, to get ready. I thought you meant for the mission. Okay.
To get ready, at which point you'll be joining a team of 3 others. I will give you more information as you are heading out.
I'll sharpen my knives.
And I would not consider it remiss as long as you are not stepping out of the line of duty, but, well, I am aware that your brother is one of the students there currently. And if you would like to have a family reunion, that is certainly in the cards once business is dealt with.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd like to see Eddie again.
And with that, we will move from Antigone to our last occupant of the car, Vesper. What do we see with her?
Vesper is sitting against the window trying to focus on the passing scenery. Her eyes keep drifting over to Antigone until she remembers to catch herself and look back out the window. She is about 5'7", very lithe. She has the kind of ballerina build where she looks slight, but it's all muscle that like she could rock your shit probably. She has very long, very dark red hair that's very straight, and she has a few braids woven through it that she has some metal and bone at the ends of. She has dark gray eyes and she's very pale. She typically wears her clothes tend to be pretty form fitting for like practical wear, but she usually has some sort of loose coat that's easily removable over top. And she's got her meteor hammer as well, but she's not really focused on that as much. It was a gift from her father's when she was officially in the institute. It was said to be made from the remains of a meteor that struck Axia, the red moon, before it was the dead moon.
Incredible. And you as well are thinking back to where you were 2 hours ago. What would you say the Keratinist Institute looks like?
Keratinist Institute is a very interesting blend of dichotomy. So I would say the outer building, the main building of the campus, the stone is iridescent, so the color can shift depending on where you're standing and the time of day and night and what type of light is reflecting off of it. And inside, you have the training atrium with a bunch of different courses with different materials so you can best learn how to use your hair and nails in conjunction with them. There's an area of study for different animals in anatomy and how to mimic their claws. There's also, because it is an interesting blend of studies, there's some that are more dedicated to fashion, like practical wear, but it doesn't have to look dull. It can be fashionable and practical. It's an interesting blend. The students are either defenders or go into the fashion industry.
And right now, Vesper, I think you're in a bit of a more unusual part of the Institute because so much of the Institute focuses on how to use your magical aptitude in a variety of ways. But one of the things you have struggled with is when to switch from that to that very hammer that you carry. And so you are in a room that in some ways feels a bit like a sensory deprivation tank, and not in the sense of it cutting off all senses, but cutting off that particular sense. Standing in here, you cannot access your inherent magic at all. And you have been at this for probably about an hour at this point, where just bone construct after bone construct after bone construct has been sent at you to ensure that you have the proper reflexes to use that hammer if and when it's needed, and to not be dependent solely on your magic.
I think Vesper has been hiding the instinctive struggle to not reach for her magic because she does it every day. It's very much second. It's pretty much primary nature to her. But she doesn't let the lack of it stop her. She's swinging with her hammer. She's using it to pivot and spring off without her hair to use. Her combat style has gotten more vicious, however, with being cut off from the magic. Her usual composure and concise movements have gone a bit wilder, is more of a defensive instinct. Without her magic, she is more aggressive.
And you have just taken down one of the constructs in absolutely spectacular and brutal fashion, bones flying everywhere and shattering. When the door opens, immediately you feel that rush of magic return, and all of the remaining constructs in the room just drop immediately. In fact, you're kind of wondering if this room is meant to prevent magic. How is that even happening? But before you have much time to consider that, a familiar voice, your mentor, says, "All right, good work."
Thank you. Are we done for the day?
With this, yeah, with this, we're done.
Her hair has immediately started like moving on its own and just kind of scattering the rest of the bones and particles off of her, and she's very quickly holding her hammer and stepping out of the room, just pushing the door the rest of the way open with her hair. Her nails have unconsciously started to grow a bit longer, but she catches herself and stops them. It's just, she's very relieved.
And outside of the room, Caesar stands there. They are of average height, about 5'6", and they, best way to describe them, they are fabulous. Lots of eye makeup, lots of lipstick, nails that have definitely been lengthened to something just at the realm of claws, but like still just aesthetically beautiful. And I'm sort of envisioning Adam Lambert, in case you're wondering who is in my head right now. And they say, "So you're done with this for the day, but something else I'm going to have to ask you to do."
All right. A little unusual.
It's definitely unusual. I'm a little surprised that they're bringing us in, but I'm pleased that they're bringing us in, as they should be.
Who?
Was a decision made by the council in its entirety, figuring out who the 4 people we would send in would be.
You're always so good at drawing out the point.
All right, I'll get right to it. You're heading to Novum.
In what capacity?
Right now, on a special mission. Eventually, I'd imagine that's going to be up to you.
Really?
When I say it's going to be up to you, assuming you do the work that I know you can do, I mean it's going to be up to you whether you accept their offer or not.
What's the mission?
You're going to be going in there, see if it's true that a couple of members of the Corvus Dominion have managed to worm their way inside. And if that is true, you're going to do what needs to be done.
I'll make sure if they are there, they won't be for long.
I know. I trust you. That's why you're the one going in.
Are there any other details you might have heard under the table?
Yeah, there are. Apparently, the reason this is so uncertain isn't because anything has happened. Obviously, if it had, well,
It would be known.
action would be taken.
Yes. Yes.
One of the other people at Novum, student, a horror specs, saw it in a vision. They didn't get enough to know who it is, only what the outcome would be. And say it would be cataclysmic would be an understatement.
I'll make sure they don't succeed. Who's the team? Is it more from here?
No, we wanted to keep it balanced between a couple of different schools. So you will be joining up with Petra Antigone, and Vale. Do what you can to play well with them.
Of course. When do I have to leave?
You've got 2 hours, so I'd start packing.
Understood. She starts to take a step away, steps back, gets her hammer attached to her back, and then she just sprouts claws and leaps onto the nearest pillar and just scales up to her floor and then hops off and just keeps going to go pack.
Immaculate.
To think the boots have slits in them for the toenails to grow out into claws as well. It says nails. They get weird over there.
Who
doesn't get weird at their school?
We respect it.
Who doesn't get weird at their school?
Listen, this is gonna mess up my lore because I very firmly believe Antigone would not have dumped a literal sexy beast. It would not have happened.
Maybe they had a disagreement. Maybe it was a spur of the moment on Vesper's end that she is very much like, I'm an idiot.
Maybe they weren't as good at nails yet, and so it was easier to.
Clearly.
I mean, if she has claws, you can't dump her. That's like legally binding.
Good at nails.
Maybe it was like she couldn't scale walls like that yet.
Exactly. Did you get good at nails to spite your ex? Because I get it. I understand.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I always went with hair was her primary main ability. Her main yeah. So I think definitely fits with the nails getting more skilled after the breakup. We have to cope. Somehow with our poor life decisions.
We have to pivot. We have to find something new.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. And so, we have this tension in the car. Are there any things that the four of you are saying to each other as you head over to Novum?
Vesper, darling, do you think you can make these little kitty cat claws? I mean, my knives are handy, but if I didn't have to reach for them, just rare.
I could give it a try if you think you'll need them for the mission.
I mean, it couldn't hurt, could it? It doesn't hurt when you do it, does it? I mean, nails don't really...
I'm used to it, but everyone would react differently, I would imagine.
It's fine. Let's try it.
And she will try to adjust her nails, making them a little bit longer than she asked for. Just enough to not be overly noticeable, but it's to feel, oh, these are a little longer, aren't they?
Flawless. You've gotten good at that.
I had a lot of downtime to practice.
Always good to hone your skills.
I would agree, and she just very casually kind of grows her nails just a few inches longer and just kind of uses them to adjust her hair.
Yo, speaking of honing, can I peep one of them knives? Like, those are sick as shit. Is that obsidian?
Yeah, don't cut yourself.
Nah, it's chill. Vale will pick up a knife and not immediately cut herself. Which probably surprises you because you're probably like, this bitch is going to drop it through her palm immediately, but she does not. And she's testing the edge, actually sighting down and sick as. Did you nap this yourself, or do you?
No, my mentor gave it to me after I passed one of my exams. We all get a little special gift. All of them are different, but we all get something that Fits our personas.
Nice. Nice. Incredible.
Hmm.
You ever actually fight with it? Like, flips it around, hands it back hilt first.
Oh, of course. Not that I really need to. That's kind of the point, but it's always nice to have in case something happens to my other skills.
Gotta have a backup.
Hmm.
So you're Neuromancer.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a Keratinist, obviously, with the...
Obviously, it's not a very subtle skill.
Subtlety's fucking overrated.
Fair. Muscle witch, I take it.
How could you tell?
Another not very subtle skill. But it's overrated,
Pet-
so subtlety is overrated.
The problem is
Petra
Della
peeks
Collins is
over
a
her
noodle.
muscle.
Yeah.
I'm a noodle.
She does
Those are
the
all
muscle
wrong.
thing. Petra peeks over the muscle. You say Neuromancer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this will be fun.
What do you do?
I see things, hear
Oh.
things.
See things or see people?
Yes.
Seer. Yep.
I like you already.
So what do we all know about this mission so far?
Is our driver a bot driver? JD, is our driver a bot driver or is our driver a person?
Your driver is a bot.
Okay.
Not a ghost. Ghost driver. Ghost cab.
I feel like bot and ghost might be synonymous.
Can never be sure.
And on that tech,
Something is
over at
powering this
Seer
tech.
Institute.
Just an angry spirit wound around
Some
a string
pieces may
really
be
tight.
organic.
Just hissing in there.
Oh, that's unpleasant.
I know that the Corvus Dominion may have snuck somebody in.
Which raises concerns. They're not exactly subtle in their appearance.
No.
So either I don't like to think they might have learned a new trick.
Oh, I'm sure they've learned several.
Well, that's the problem with them getting into the academies. They could learn a bunch of ours.
Mm-hmm.
What, JD, what do the members of the Corvus Dominion look like?
They look like super disconcerting when you've actually seen them. They do not look human in any way, shape, or form.
They're like 9 foot tall with beaks, right?
Yeah, they're like a very bird-like, but also fleshy. Like it's not a pleasant
Yeah,
combination.
classic flesh bird.
Classic flesh bird. Like those skin Furbies that,
Oh my god.
But like
What's
a
their face
long
talking
skin
about?
Furby?
Yeah.
With
I
the
wish
beak.
I could explain the fact that I have had so many conversations about skin Furbies in the past 3 weeks.
Don't you miss the long
Wait,
Furby
what?
I'm so sorry, Chrissy.
Sorry. Sorry.
But this is literally like the third time.
Look, sometimes somebody has the ability to cast silicone. And sometimes the person who has the ability to cast silicone has access to Furbies.
Sometimes chaotic evil choices are made.
And sometimes beautiful, beautiful things come of it.
I feel
And then
like
also sometimes flesh Furbies.
Yeah. Flesh bees.
Google isn't helping me with this,
No.
except for maybe the forbidden Furb hairless
Why have you
Furby
Googled
sculpture.
it?
I have to know.
Chrissy, why have you Googled it? Chrissy, love yourself. Why have you? Chrissy, no.
I literally,
We
my
were sent
entire
a
job is
picture.
Googling
You share
things.
it, so their Google history
Yeah.
has become cursed.
You have filled me with such fear. I think I'm gonna cry. What have you done, Chrissy?
Oh, please. We're all
What gates of hell have
millennials.
you opened?
We're all millennials. We've seen shit on this
The
internet.
bravery to go stream. Oh my goodness.
I had to know, what does it look like? Furbies are creepy enough on their own. The
Yeah,
fact
but at
that
some point you're gonna want to unknow, and you won't be able to, Chrissy.
Yeah.
No. One of the fun facts about nerves is the brain literally has to forget to function, and I am actually very good at that. So it's fine.
Can you
It's
forget
fine.
to Furby? Can you forget to remember Flesh Furby?
Maybe not.
Can you do that?
That's gonna take a few
Godspeed.
years.
You know.
Listen, Chrissy, we have a picture. We will share it with you. If you beg, we will share it with you.
On break, a
Please,
special
God,
please
no, I'm
show
Drop it
me the
into
tempted.
flesh
general.
Furby.
Just drop it straight into general.
Gen?
No. Drop it
Put
into
that shit in
general.
general.
Put that shit in
Verbally
general.
drop
Put
it.
that shit. Drop that shit in main. No context. We're both admins. Who's gonna stop us?
That is true.
Somebody should. There should be checks and balances for Flesh Furby.
That is true. As you were all
Post
talking
flesh
about
mods
this,
are
That's
asleep.
congressional
Post
power.
flesh Furby. Sorry, my
Bring
children are
forward the
sleeping. I
Discord.
should not shout.
so please,
Remind me
continue
not
your
to check Jen.
conversation, and I will drop the flesh Furby into the general chat.
Oh, you're not even gonna wait
No!
for break. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Remind me not to check Jen for several hours.
So do we know?
Sick knives.
So do we know how they found out about this?
I heard it was a Haruspex.
Really?
Sick. Do we
Or at
know
least-
which hair specs?
I did not get that information, but a Haruspex had a vision that they got in and caused some pretty cataclysmic repercussions. So
It
We're not
may
gonna let
not
that
have
happen.
happened yet.
Uh,
They may not be there. Makes more sense. They're very big.
not to shit on an entire discipline, but are we certain that this Haruspex was not just having a real bad panic attack?
I don't.
Do yours frequently involve visions of the Corvus Dominion?
No, because I'm not a Haruspex. Also, I don't think I've ever had a panic attack. Oh no, I've
That's-
definitely had a panic attack. They gassed us a couple times. That was shitty.
Endurance training is very. It's very.
It's very. So, oh, you tagged me in it. Thank you, JD.
If I'm
Sharing's
going down,
caring.
you're going down.
Sharing is caring.
Man,
JD,
It
did
looks
you
like
tag me in this?
there it
No.
is.
I have a tag
Sphinx
in an
cat
LFTA,
butthole.
and I'm scared.
I did not tag you. I can promise you that.
You aren't tagged and it's spoilered. You can look at
Yeah.
general. It's all right.
Katie was.
You're
thoughtful.
safe.
Now I'm tempted. Okay, I'm not going to. I shan't today.
Yes,
Must be
Steph.
strong.
Oh, I was saying something. Wow. Okay. Brain just went empty. It's been a day. Vesper just kind of like leans forward a little bit. And it's just like, I've not had many dealings with Haruspexes since they tend to be either very busy or very spread out. All I know is supposedly the info came from Haruspex. And it seems like they're being overly cautious instead of just dismissing it. And worst case scenario, nothing's there, and we've gotten a sneak peek at a very, very elite school.
Well, better
She's
to
right.
be safe than gone before our time.
I would agree.
I mean, if we're gone, isn't that our time, you know? Your time is your time.
I suppose. But if a Haruspex has given us warning, then it Stands to reason that perhaps it's not.
Fair.
Sound logic.
Petra, have you checked the car?
This one?
Yeah, this one.
I suppose I didn't think of that. Just sort of hand on the door. Can I check the car?
You can
Can
definitely check the car.
Okay. I don't know that I need the full history of the object. But if you want me to burn my thing, let me know. But I think general vibes, couple hours. I don't know. What are the vibes? What are the
The vibes are super neutral.
super
There is
dudes?
nothing
Excellent.
that feels weird about this. It is essentially like a government issued car. Nobody has tampered with it. People have gotten in, been transported back, but certainly nothing that would strike you as concerning or unusual or an act of sabotage. Pretty boring. I mean, I think you probably recognize if you were to really lean in, maybe you'd get some whispers of various political movements that are happening, since it is essentially a government issue car. But outside of that, it's not anything. I think you almost find it boring.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's the sort of like that distant look of like I'm thinking hard about something or I'm paying attention to somebody who's talking but I can't see them, so it's sort of like that like trying to listen. And then gets distracted and then gets distracted and then oh shit, sorry. Yeah, no, it's a car. It's a car. Um I mean, I could go back farther, but I mean, as far as like,
I
if they did
think
something a couple weeks ago, I think we're good.
I think it probably hasn't been terribly long since that Haruspex had that vision, given how quickly
Exactly.
they sent, I'm assuming all of us, out to get
Mhm.
ready. I wouldn't waste your energy on a car. I think it's best to save it for whatever's waiting for us at the academy.
And speaking of the academy, it surprises you when the car starts to slow down because you're looking around and it's strange. For the first time, you realize I don't know what Novum looks like. And you only register that when the car is slowing and you're looking and going, okay, where's the building? What's the building? Like, where am I? And then you're like, this is a big institution. It's an important institution. I've never seen this institution before. And you realize as you approach, it's almost like an optical illusion. Or maybe some sort of wording has actively been dropped. But you're approaching a building that is entirely made up of reflective glass so that it only reflects back the environment around it. And it is massive, maybe is an overstatement. It is about 6 stories. So it is not small, but it is sprawling. It is large, filled with multiple wings as it starts to come into view. And as you pull up, your bot driver stops the vehicle and the doors open on their own accord.
Petra probably falls out because she's been pressed to the glass, staring at this thing. It is beautiful. The
Vale's
level of illusion, magical or otherwise, incredible. Just pressed up to the package, like pressed up to the wall.
Out the other window and like without looking, like grabs the back of your.
Oh, hi. This is cool.
This is cool. This is insanely cool.
This is sick as fuck.
This is sick as fuck. Boom. Shoulder checks you, accidentally knocks you over.
Oh, 100%, just like almost flat on her ass.
Sorry,
But
sorry,
like,
sorry.
still delighted.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Just like reaches for a hand to like get picked back up.
Yeah.
Just like still staring at this building. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to touch it.
You probably
You can touch it.
shouldn't.
I want you to touch it. I want to know. I want to know.
I imagine the people that have to clean it will get very angry.
Oh, you think they get students to?
Artifacts. I have very clean hands.
You reckon they get?
I realize the state of my dress doesn't belie that fact, but I have very clean hands. I could wear gloves, perhaps. I very much want to touch it.
Can you do your little trick through gloves?
They're thin enough, perhaps.
Fascinating.
I haven't had to try.
And a voice says, I would recommend not touching the building.
Petra stands very straight and formal, and no longer wants to touch the building.
Flawless salute.
I mean, she just wants to touch the building, but like we're not going to talk about it.
I think in some ways, Vale, like you do recognize authority, of course, so you would do that regardless, but I think you also have a moment where you salute and you're like, wait, this is the person I'm saluting to, because the person standing in front of you looks like he might actually be a student. Like he looks really young, but he carries himself with full authority. He looks like he's maybe 19 or 20. And he is decked out in all black. He has bone jewelry everywhere you can see. You're pretty sure that's not the imprint of like a skull just on his shirt. Like that is a full actual skeletal ribcage wrapped around him. And he looks at each of you in turn and slowly nods and says, all right, welcome. I'm Director Kieran. I will be escorting you inside. Do not touch anything that I have not given you permission to touch. Basically, keep your arms and legs inside the ride and everything will be fine.
Understood.
The four of you ready?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And again, in a way that like does not fit with the person who theoretically is in charge of this place, he grins and just says, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
And on that note, I think we are going to take a break before the rest of this mystery unfolds. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And we're going to see what this group does as they start interrogating people and trying to find out who might not be what they seem. You're not going to want to miss it. I can place my bets on that.
Things gross people out. But if you want to know more about my weird joints, are we live? Hi.
Sorry about that, Kit.
We just went live. Just
It's
now.
okay. I just don't want to gross people out with the weird things that my joints do.
Oh,
Hey.
I
be
mean,
fair,
it
that's
is
in Extremis
topical.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the stream to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're double jointed, you're not. Go get that checked out. This has been Medical Tips with Kit.
We appreciate it, Kit. I like how everybody is like checking on their joints at this point, except for me, because my joints
Are angry all the
my
time.
joints are just angry
The opposite.
in a different way.
Together we have a fully functioning skeletal system, JD.
FYI, My joints are, I have the opposite problem as well. My knee joints lock so tight that my femur snapped rather than snap any tendons.
Hot. Sorry.
Yep.
Bodies are cool, y'all.
Yep.
What?
I went over a ski jump badly on downhill skis, not on trick skis. They were set to advanced downhill ski mode, so they didn't come off. So when I hit the ground and tumbled, they corked my leg around like a corkscrew, and snapped my femur like that.
Ooh,
How do you
Didn't come
fight?
out the leg though, which is good.
that's a fun fracture.
Yeah, it was a great fracture. It was real cool. Taking the ski boot
We
off
love a
in
good
the
fracture.
ER. That was
How-
a moment.
How long did that take to heal?
I broke my back as well. I crushed my T12 also. So I
Hey,
was
Della,
in.
are you good?
This was years ago. So I was in a brace. I was actually in a brace. This was right before y'all's wedding. This was right before JD and
Oh
Steph's
my
wedding.
god.
Yep.
So I was in a back brace.
That's
That was like the first weekend I was out of the back brace,
That's
and it happened
Yep.
in
Oh
February.
my god.
So it was about 6 months in a brace and daily physical therapy. I was in the ER for 3 days, in ortho rehab for 2 weeks, and then home for like 3 months, fully in a back brace, and then 3 months after that of sort of in and out of the brace and doing daily PT.
No, don't do it. Like stick fracture, don't do it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds more fun than it was, huh?
So it sure does. Oh, it sure
Sick
does.
in hindsight.
Sick in hindsight. I will say the worst part might have been, well, taking the ski boot off. Actually, no. The worst part was moving from chair to bed and
Oh,
having someone drop my ankle on the floor.
why?
I would perhaps commit murder.
I
if
was
I were
about to
have-
say that, Kit. Yeah.
Fully grayed out.
Yeah.
I gave birth to my daughter without any pain meds, and that hurt worse. Like dropping my ankle
Jesus.
fully.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do
Don't
it.
do
Do
it.
not recommend.
Also, don't get the epidural if you are a birth giving person. Just because that one thing was worse doesn't mean that was fun.
No. I've heard stories. No.
We are
Never
getting
recommend
such good
being in
medical
pain.
advice tonight.
There's so many good tips out
So
of
many
Anyway,
good
the fun
tips.
bone game.
it's the fun bone game.
It is the game to be talking about this stuff in.
It is a bone game though, so here we are.
It's true.
It's true.
And speaking of bones, you were, when we left you, walking into Novum. Because you said it, Della, I have to do it, with director Kieran Bright. It's canon. I forgot to give him a last name. I straight up panicked when I started to introduce him.
There he is.
He's got a last name now. So he is leading the way, and he is pretty casually just talking to all of you, just kind of over his shoulder. Just like, all right, this is Novum. I'm going to bring you to the director's office. It's currently my office. It's not always my office. We rotate every 3 months. That way, no one school is in charge for any suspended length of time. Keeps it fair to everyone. Don't want anyone playing favorites. Obviously, right now, osteomancy is in charge. So I'm the lucky person getting to figure out whatever this clusterfuck is.
Yeah, so we heard there's a Haruspex saw a vision or had a dream.
He looks surprised. He covers it well, but says, didn't realize that part was going to be a piece of the briefing you got coming in here. I was going to tell you that, of course, but yes. Nell had a vision.
When did they have this vision?
He looks at his wrist, which has a watch that is 90% bone, 10% technology, and says, that would be about 19 hours ago.
Very precise.
I've had a clock counting down since then. We don't know how time sensitive this is, but there are indications shit could be getting pretty bad in the next 2 to 3 hours.
Oh,
Are we going to be able to talk to Mel?
Yeah, you can definitely talk to them. I guess I'm going to leave it up to you if you need to, but I'm not going to say anything more about that until we're in the office.
fair.
100%.
And so he mostly spends the rest of the walk just kind of pointing out various things at Novum, noting like this is the academy, this is the part of the academy for spell work, this is the part of the academy for spy work, this is where the behemoths are kept, and letting you kind of know all of that. You can't see much outside of the hallway, but he is putting all of that on the table.
Where's your trophy cabinet?
We don't have one of those, but that is a really good idea.
I'm just saying, can you really call yourself an elite academy if you don't have a trophy cabinet?
Well, who would they compete against?
I mean,
I'm
they compete
assuming the
against each
people.
other.
Yes. And also the people whose bones he's currently wearing. I love the fashion here.
And he looks down, almost as though he's forgotten that he's covered in bones, and is like, I mean, some of these are trophies, but they're all ethically sourced. I mean, it still counts as ethically sourced if they're from bad people.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm
Sick as
gonna
shit.
love it here.
Fully sick.
Just point of order. How many ghosts are about? Just like vague saturation of
That's a
guesstimate.
really good question. It actually is jarring to you because I would imagine Petra has even seen a bit of some of the other schools, like, perhaps a little bit at the gym. I feel like Vale would have taken the opportunity to show off for Petra at some point. So, like, that was saturated with ghosts. Like, you
Mhm.
notice that immediately. So, you know how common they are, and especially in an academy where people are being trained and doing dangerous things, the chances of accidents are high. And that's without including the fact that, interrogations might also happen here.
Mhm.
There are no ghosts anywhere in sight. You feel completely disconnected from the world of spirits.
Okay, I know I was told not to touch anything. I understand that. I think trying to get any sort of anything, Petra is like dragging a finger along the wall as they're walking. Until she's told not to. But like one hand is just sort of like nervously like that, and then dragging a finger, like trying to get any sort of any read on anything, because this is disconcerting. I don't enjoy this at all.
You get a handful of flashes. Mostly, I mean, as you're walking through this part, it's nothing all that significant. It's, of essentially students moving through. You feel the tension of the work that they are doing. You get impressions of projects that are being worked on. You do see some images of the behemoths and the insides of them. You don't get anything that feels particularly wrong. At least not before Kieran, without even looking at you, says, I told you not to do that.
Oh, the hand immediately back, like behind her back, walking very properly. But the hands are crossed behind her back and they're still sort of, nervously fiddling. Where is
Vale.
everyone?
Hmm?
Where is everyone?
The students are mostly in lectures and doing their work.
Former students.
Ah. None of them are kept here.
I can see that.
It is part of the agreement when you join Novum.
Oh, she doesn't like that. But she will stop asking questions because I don't think she's going to like the answers.
If it looks like she's still like fidgety, like
Yeah.
Vale will like while gawking, like slack jaw, like just gawking at everything, will probably reach back and like just hold her hand.
It's appreciated. There's still nervous finger tapping, but
Yeah.
it is accompanied with a squeeze. Like,
Yeah.
appreciated. This is bad and I don't like this place.
So what do folks have to do to actually make it in? Like for real, like
I mean, it is dependent on the person and their skills. Some of the people who come through here were top of their class. They were put up for, I guess you could say, a promotion by their particular school. Others did really amazing things on the front lines, were brought back here to do even better things. Others just have a natural aptitude. The behemoths don't respond to everyone, and if there's someone who can connect with one of them, they're going to end up here.
rad. What's the security like?
Meant to be invisible. But it is top of the line and collaborated on by all of the schools. Which you can see is why we're concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dominion is not known for subtlety.
No, they are not, and I do not particularly like the thought that there could have been several of them right here without me knowing this entire time.
Just for the record, as we go on this little adventure, um, one of the fun little spicy passive traits for the Neuromancers is they can always tell when someone is lying to them.
And that will definitely be helpful. I will say Kieran has not lied to you, at least thus far.
So I've got a passive spell of size up.
Yep.
I kind of wanna size up director Kieran Bright. Like not in like I'm not gonna try to be obvious or aggressive about it, but I just want to know. It's very much a like I, I'm sure this man can ruin my whole day. I just want to know how fast it would be.
I love it. Incredible. Yeah, so you are trying to size him up, and He definitely does not look particularly strong in stature. Nothing remotely like you do. Nothing remotely like Oz. But you're looking at him, and it's as you're noticing the amount of control that he is exerting to keep all of those bones in the places that they are in, that you're like, if he can just do that like it's nothing, he could like snap my body like a twig in 2 seconds probably.
Sick. Sick. Fully sick.
And he brings the four of you the rest of the way to the office. It is an office that's designed to like look very nondescript because it is in rotation so often from school to school. He has decorated it with so many bones. He also looks like he might have painted the walls. You're not sure, but they are all black. And the desk is like the normal part. Like you see that and you're like, yep, that's just standard. Like the bookcase, that's just standard. But aesthetically, he has made it his own. And there are 4 chairs sitting there. There are several files sitting on the desk. And he gestures for you to take a seat and then just sits on the desk itself.
Oh, is that my file?
It's not.
Oh.
It's one of the files on the 4 students that have been pinpointed to potentially be members of the Corvus Dominion.
And what makes them suspicious?
Nell says
beaks.
they are the ones that they saw in their vision.
Well, if Nell has identified them, that means you know who it is, don't you?
I'm gonna guess none of you have spent a lot of time with Aharu specs, but what's hard is what they see isn't usually sequential.
Oh.
It's fragmented. So we have bits and pieces. Nell saw that there were members of the Corvus Dominion. They saw that the plan sounds like it's meant to be commandeering one of the behemoths. They saw images of these 4 students who seem to have some knowledge of what is involved. And I don't like it because I like all 4 of these students. I think they're good people. I like to think I'm a pretty decent judge of character, although maybe not as good as some. And he looks at you, Antigone.
What are their names?
Otto Lindner. He is a muscle witch.
Do I know him?
You do. He was top of the class, essentially 2 years ahead of you. He is a legend. He currently has the best time on the obstacle course, and it is a solid minute less than your current time.
Fuck. Damn. Otto's a fucking beast.
Yeah, he is. That guy can do a lot. He has done a lot. He's done a lot of good. So I hate to think. I don't know what would have made him change sides. I don't know if he somehow fooled all of us to begin with, but I'm hoping that what Nell saw was wrong. And I'm hoping that the 4 of you can get to the bottom of that. We've also got Sage Eklund. They are a seer, and you would recognize their name, Petra. You have likely read some of the work that they did on patching holes in the veil and ways to weave things back together.
Petra makes a face. It is not a pleased face.
And Kieran says, then there's Hypatia Capello. She's a keratinist. With some of those, I know it's not really shape-shifting. I don't mean any disrespect by saying that, but with some of that, it's kind of not surprising that she would be on the list. And what I would say actually feels surprising to you, Vesper, is she was much more on the beauty school side of things. Like, she was not someone who regularly used her abilities for fighting. And well, of course, fighting is not all that is reportedly done at the Novum. That does catch your attention.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure there can be a variety of uses for her focus here. I'm sensing a pattern.
If you're sensing a pattern that the four of you were chosen for a reason, then yeah. We thought it was important that a representative of each of the schools where we have a student identified was here. We also thought that it was important that those of you who had some knowledge of them were there, though Antigone, you might be a bit of a mistake in that way, because there's no easy way to say this. It's your brother.
I'm sorry, what?
Eteocles was the fourth student identified.
Eddie can't plan
That's
his way out of a
ridiculous.
paper bag. Are you shitting me?
Again, I as surprised as you. Not someone I would have pinpointed. But that's who Nell says they saw.
Okay. It has been a while since I have chatted with my dear brother.
So the way I see it, we have two directions we could go in. Three, I guess, actually. I've got their files if you want to read through them. And if you want to talk to them, you can. I don't know if you also want to talk to Nell, but that is also an option.
I would like to start with her, actually.
I think that would be wise. She was the one who got the vision.
Tracks.
If we have some details, then maybe we can use them in our interrogations.
That makes sense to me.
How difficult would it be to see where the behemoths are? You said that sounded like an integral part of their plan. It seems like it would be prudent to lock them down and perhaps see what's going on there.
As much as one can lock them down, they're kind of free roaming to a degree, aren't they?
I mean, they are. We can lock down security to that wing, and we have. But we also don't know what information these individuals might already have.
Do
That's
students
part of what we're
typically
trying
have
to find out.
access?
None of them work with the behemoths. No.
We should talk
But
to the higher specs.
yeah, I would be happy to. Well, I guess the question is, do you want me to bring you to them, or do you want me to bring them to you? This is kind of I don't know, it gives like a being brought to the principal's office vibe, so if you would rather.
Actually, yes. I think bringing people here as we can unsettle them just a little bit. We'll get a little bit more honesty out of everyone.
Oh,
We don't want them
I.
playing on their home turf.
Oh no! I'm thinking, what if we do some good cop, bad cop?
I can only play bad cop.
I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting that vibe.
Kieran looks at you, Vale, and says, "Are you able to play good cop?"
Oh yeah, I'm real friendly. Everybody likes me.
Yeah, but you look pretty terrifying.
Yeah, yo. I mean, what I'm saying is, uh, Lintner will not be afraid of me. Uh, we should definitely call the higher specs we should talk to in here. Like that's gotta be secret. That's gotta be as with as much secrecy as possible. Like obviously, I think that makes sense to be here. Everybody else, what if we do a bit of both? Because
Be
you know when
interesting.
people. Hmm? Sorry, go ahead,
Would,
Petra.
no, would be interesting to see other people's reactions to their fellow students being interrogating.
Oh,
Might give
that,
us some answers we didn't know we needed.
that's a good point. All right. All right.
I'm a big dumb jock. People say all kinds of shit around me and think I don't know a damn thing.
You know several damn things.
I know like at least five.
I know this and I love you.
Thank you for the props, Petra. The begrudging props.
And Kieran says, "I mean, if you're decided on the first step, being talking to Nell, I can bring her here. Um, let you start off by talking to them, and then it sounds like we'll figure out where you'll meet with the other four."
Sounds good. Sounds like we've got a plan.
And he steps out and leaves the four of you for a few moments.
It's a bad idea.
And I didn't want to have to ask the question, but I am going to ask it. What do you do in his absence?
Antigone immediately grabs her brother's folder and starts flipping through it.
Vesper takes a moment to just kind of lean into Antigone and just say, I'm sure she's wrong about your brother.
I mean, it's not that I think that he's. I mean, I've always loved him. He's my brother, but it's not that I think that he's incapable moralistically. I think he's incapable mentally. The dude is. Rocks are smarter and more
Damn.
subtle.
Yo, he's a neuromancer he's a neuromancer, right?
Technically,
He
Damn.
attends Novum.
Yeah, he's a neuromancer who's got into Novum.
he's all brain, or he's all brawn and no brain. He
Hey,
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just
I'm
saying
making a joke.
I don't understand. And like, I am extremely good at telling when people are lying to me. So like,
It
how could he have faked this? I mean, I guess it could be a new development. He could have just recently got the smallest amount of intelligence, possibly.
Maybe the hair specs, what she thought she saw wasn't right. The director said they aren't always linear in their visions. Maybe they were
Maybe
reacting
the
to a
vision.
threat, and the vision made it look like they were helping the threat.
Maybe.
Vision
hey
can be tricked.
hey JD.
Yep.
Can I do something? Can I do something kind of fucky? Can I?
Please.
I want
I
to.
wish you would.
I want to see if I can. I want to actually do one magic to my eyeballs. I want to be able to see the security.
Okay.
Oh.
You took technology, right?
I did take technology.
I'm going to allow that.
All right. What do I do to do the thing?
I'm gonna have you burn. I'm gonna be mean because I'm not gonna have you roll, but I'm gonna have you burn 2 wells.
Oh shit. We got 9.
You got 9. You
Yep.
got max because it's full moon day.
Yep. So you are down to 7. But with that, you are able to do enough manipulation that essentially your eye becomes technologically enhanced, and you are looking around and just seeing the web of the energy and magic that is literally intertwined with this building.
I want to look for breaches. Breaches, weak points.
And in this room, as you're gazing around, it seems very much intact and secure, except for one spot. There is a spot on the floor that looks like it was maybe recently repaired.
I'm gonna investigate.
And
So I
for
think what
that, I will say I am going to have you roll for that.
okay. Okay. What am I rolling?
I think in this case, because we are talking a studied methodical action, and you're taking your time, I'm having you roll bone.
Yeah. Dope. Okay. Oh, 1d6 or 2d6?
Uh, a d6 for every point you have in that attribute.
Oh, okay. So that was just the first roll in that. The first roll was a 5.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, the first roll was a 4. I'm not adding the attribute. The first roll
Yeah.
was a 4.
Yeah, you're just taking the highest one, I
Just
believe.
You're just taking the highest one.
Gotcha.
sick. Okay.
So that
Okay.
is
First
a
roll.
mixed success. It is either a success with a consequence or a failure.
Do I get to choose?
You do get to choose.
I think so. First of all, what you guys see is what other people see is you see Vale kind of looking around, um, pull out this eye patch, kind of unscrew something that looks like it's been bolted into her skull, like bolted into her orbital crest, and like plug in this eye patch, uh, and like turn it on and like flinch for a second, and then start looking around. And she hones in on this spot on the floor and kind of walks over and like is ah something happened here. Looks like they tried to repair the security, and I am not 100% certain that I'm not going to set off a trap if I poke it too hard. Petra, you want
Yes.
to, you think you can, this might be your jam, not mine.
Could take a look. Um. Yeah, I mean, Petra's probably like inches away from like pulling a bone off of a shelf. like she's not gonna do it, but she really wants to do it, but she's not gonna. She's just sort of like, this is a better distraction. And we'll turn around and just sort of, I guess, sit on the floor, just assume the position of a dig, and try to inspect it as much as she can without touching it. If she has to touch it, she'll touch it. But
I think with that, I'm also going to have you roll with bone.
can I argue that one of my disciplines may come in handy because maybe I can argue this. One of my disciplines is crime, and it seems like a crime happened here. And this is specifically if they're trying to get through security. Either this is something that I have done something similar to, or on a dig on some sort of investigation situation, have seen the aftermath of something like this being done. Is kind of where I'm arguing from that. I'm not trying to commit a crime, but I'm using my knowledge of having committed crimes.
And so with that, I'm still going to have you roll bone, but
okay.
add your discipline. So
Okay.
roll another dice.
Excellent. Cool. Because my bone is shockingly not as good as you'd expect.
It's like while they're investigating, Vesper's just gonna crouch near the door to the office and have her hair just kind of touch the floor so she can try to feel vibrations of anyone approaching.
How we doing, Kit?
We got the whole spread. We got a 1, a 3, and a 6. So
Got this.
You got 6. That's all that matters.
That 6 will
all
do.
that
That 6 will do. Finally,
So
Petra gets to touch shit.
we're gonna resolve a few things all at the same time. So
Great.
Antigone, you are looking at your brother's file, and it is exactly what you would expect. It is focusing on his physical prowess. There are some notes about like, why isn't he a muscle witch? Because like, he's using his abilities to bolster his own muscles, like not to affect the muscles of others. And basically like a lot of things about he could be really useful if he started using his abilities to do other things, but like also he's been a tank, so like we respect that and appreciate that and think we can make him even more capable, and it did seem like that was what they were building towards.
I knew that he.
Vesper, you feel two sets of footsteps approaching. They're probably a hallway away, but they are getting close.
She kind of just quietly says, "Director's coming back. We'll be here in a minute."
And Petra, you are examining the floor and examining that spot that Vale had pointed out to you. And it is clear to you why you were needed to do this rather than Vale, because while Vale is able to see things that others would not be able to see, Vale doesn't see the veil. And this is a breach in the veil that you are seeing.
Petra is enraptured. Does not realize that Vesper has even said anything. To be perfectly honest, because she's not seen a single spirit since stepping foot on this campus, and this is a breach. The temptation to reach into it is so fucking strong. Has it been patched or is it still thin?
A little bit of both. It has been patched but not repaired. So it is still very thin. And what I am going to say is, with the director approaching, as you go to touch it, that is the moment that the office door opens. And several things happen in quick succession, because standing in front of Director Bright is a young woman with long dark hair who is dressed in an oversized hoodie and jeans. And she steps through first. Like, as the door opens, she's already moving in. And the door slams behind her before Director Bright can step through. And she just stares at you, Petra, and looks disappointed and says, "This isn't the way I expected this to happen." And that is the moment that 3 ghosts come ripping through that spot in the floor. And we are now in combat.
Oh boy.
We are delighted, first of all. You're ecstatic, second of all.
Bitch, I know you
Petra's
just
still
didn't
on the floor.
my dear. Not happening. This ain't happening.
And so I am going to say that because of your ability with ghosts, Petra, that is the only reason the ghosts are not going to act before you. Because they recognize someone who can see them and interact with them and give them a voice in a way others could not. And you notice that's important because all of their lips seem to be sealed shut. So they do not immediately attack you, which means whoever would like the spotlight can go first. You have the 3 ghosts, and you have Nell.
Question: did the door open inward or outward?
It opened inward. It appears to be frozen shut in some way.
That's fine. She might not have noticed me yet, so I'm gonna use my hair to swipe her legs and knock her to the floor.
I would love that for you. I would absolutely love that for you.
Okay.
Point of order, this is all going to be close range, right?
This is all going to be close range.
Dope.
Sick.
So I'm going to have you roll with nerve.
Okay. Let me get my stat sheet.
And I'm going to give you an extra dice because it is a sneak attack.
Yay! Thank
We
you.
love to see it.
By the way, I should have warned everyone, I will just be breaking this game and making up the rules as we go along.
Yeah,
The
fuck it, why
rules
not?
are a
It's a one shot.
suggestion.
Okay, let's have fun. That's fun. I got a 6. So
Incredible. So yes, you catch Nell by surprise, and you, well, describe to me how you do it.
her hair uncoils from like the giant braid it had woven into when she met the director, and now see that the metal and bone on the end of a few of the smaller braids are not just ornamental because they dig into the skin as she wraps her hair around Nell's lower legs and ankles and just yanks her off her feet. She just barely needs to move her head. She's just yanks and sends her face first to the floor. At least that's her goal. Face first on the floor.
With the 6, you do that, and you do 1 point of damage. So Nell is now on the ground, prone. First blood has been struck.
If I may.
You may.
My enemy's on the floor. I feel like I would be remiss to not stick a great sword in her sternum.
I would love that for you.
Okay. I'm gonna whip this out and just like do probably actually not stab because that's not gonna be fast enough to recover from, but I am probably gonna attempt a beheading strike.
Roll with muscle.
Sick. The first roll was a 6, so can I? Yeah, no, I'm just gonna big smacks.
I'm gonna do the thing that everybody always looks at me for. I'm gonna roll a dice, even though this is once again a game where I should not be rolling a dice.
Don't you roll for enemies in this game? I thought you did.
I am wondering if I can also use my stare down
Does it
spell.
require an action?
So I'm gonna give you a choice, Stella.
Okay.
If you use stare down, well, let me roll this and then I'll tell
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
If you use stare down, I will let you do that. But if you do not use stare down, I will let you fully take Nell's head off.
Well, now that that's an option.
The information is so much more valuable. I would rather take an arm.
Okay.
Ooh.
I would rather take an arm and basically just use stare down and just say talk or die.
I love that. An arm has been taken. Do you have a preference for which one?
What arm did she use to open the door?
Her right one.
So right arm. If she's right-handed, I'm taking the right arm.
Incredible.
Cool.
So we're gonna resolve that in a moment. But before we do, we have Antigone and Petra, and we have 3 ghosts.
Oh. Do my knives work on ghosts? Because I don't think my powers would.
Oh no.
Can I
Can't
Can I
use
do
nerve
something that
magic on
may
something.
that doesn't have a nervous system?
Oh my god.
That's a really valid point. But
shit.
yes, go ahead, Kit.
Can I do an action that might inform
110%.
your actions?
We love collaboration.
Here's the okay. Can everybody see the ghosts?
Yes, and that is
Okay, so they're
weird
visible.
because
Okay.
usually only
Uh-huh.
Petra would be seeing them, but yeah, the rest of you can
Y'all
see
are
the ghosts.
After Petra has just been saying there are no ghosts here. There are no ghosts in Ba Sing Se. Oh man. I think Petra looks delighted and then concerned and then confused at everything that's happening and looks directly at one of the ghosts and says, "Find the director. Come back if he's gone. Please?" And like looks towards the door.
I'm going to have you roll with bone, but I'm going to give you a bonus dice once again because you speak with ghosts.
Can I get an extra because one of my disciplines is diplomacy?
Yes.
I've actually built a good character. What? That's 2 6s, my good dude.
Nice.
The dice have forgiven me, I think.
The dice
For
are
whatever
making
crimes
up.
I committed on Tuesday, they have forgiven me now.
And so, yes, with that, Petra, you speak to these ghosts and they almost seem relieved. Like they don't want to be in a fight with all of you. You can sense that. They would have been forced into it. And maybe it is the fact that Nell lost their arm. Maybe it is the fact that they also are being stared down by the person who took their arm. But this is something where if she was the one controlling them, she's not fully holding the reins anymore. And you're able to take those on and give the ghost guidance, and they are not trapped here. I will say you do quickly, though, recognize a slight flaw in that they do not seem to be able to go through the door. And
Hold on.
Veil,
wards.
you would recognize like the wards are still up there. The veil is not thin
It was
enough.
only
for them
broken
to
in
move
that
through.
one spot. Shit.
So,
But
like,
they
they
are
can't
focusing.
move, or they are stuck being semi-corporeal?
They can't move. They
Mm.
are heading towards the door, but just sort of that floating there.
They're stuck in the office with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not attacking you, and they don't seem to want to attack you. So there is that.
Yeah, Petra does not like this, but sort of, looks to the others. Don't fight them. They don't want this. I don't. Yeah, I think that's all I can do. I've rolled dice. That's an action.
Well,
But
I'm
it's
gonna
still fully
look.
sat on the floor.
I'm gonna look down at our little friend on the ground. I'm gonna pull out one of my knives and hold it up. You know, there are over 7 trillion nerves in the human body. And in fact, every inch of your skin has like 1,300 nerve endings. And I'm willing to make all of them scream if you don't start singing for us.
And Nell, is already full on sobbing. I'm not even going to have you roll for that at this point, Chrissy, with everything that has happened. They are essentially surrounded. Their arm is gone. They are being stared down by a terrifying person. You are threatening them. Their ghostly allies are not doing anything. And she just starts crying and saying, "It wasn't supposed to be like this."
How is it supposed to be? Share with the class. We'd all love to know. We're so curious.
I had to do it. It had to be done. I didn't have a choice. I needed the 4 of you here.
Why?
Because you're going to do something terrible.
And
I'm
you want
about
us
to.
I mean, to be fair, you already did something pretty terrible to her. I don't suppose you're the kind of. No, you're not the kind of magician that can regrow that arm, are you? That's so
I'm-
unfortunate.
I'm sure they have one here if she makes it out of the office.
Smart.
I can help. Uh and uh Vale will reach out and say, I can cauterize this. And she, pointing to Antigone, and she can turn off the nerves to make it not hurt. If you keep talking, she can do that. Or, and like just that little glow in the palm of her hand. It don't feel great. You ever been burned?
No.
What did you bring us here to do?
I brought you here to make sure that the war with the Corvus Dominion would end. That's why I brought you here. I wouldn't have brought you here if I didn't have to, but the things you're going to do, they're going to have consequences. There's going to be a true resurrection,
What?
and you're going to be involved.
Why would we be involved with a true resurrection?
I don't know.
Well, what
I
did
don't
you
see
see us
everything.
do if you even had a vision?
Of course, I had a vision. How else would I have known to make sure the four of you ended up here?
Antigone, turn off her nerves.
Fine.
You can always turn them back on later.
And I will if I don't like what sort of tune you sing to us.
And yeah, this is mostly flavor. So I don't know.
Please.
I'll spend wells on it if you want me to, but
I will let you do it for flavor.
yeah. Just sort of stopping the bleeding to give them a chance to collect themselves. Keep talking. I know Haruspexes get off on being roundabout.
You don't understand anything about us. It's so hard to put a timeline together. It's sometimes impossible. If I could just say, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, that would be so easy, but I can't do that.
But you can tell us what you've seen. You've seen enough things to put the pieces together. I don't see the future, but I see the fragmented past. I understand to an extent. You can give us the pieces. You don't have to finish the puzzle. But you do have to let them go if you're the one that's brought them here.
How do I know you won't kill me?
You
You
don't.
don't.
But you won't get away from me if you do die. At least you won't be alone.
I cannot let them go this instant, but I can let them go as soon as possible.
Is she
Can I
telling the
make it
truth?
faster? Oh,
She is. She is telling the truth on that. That right now she is not able to let them go. In part, that might be because she doesn't have command over ghosts in the same way that Petra does, and whatever has them tied to her is probably not something that happened by her will alone. So she likely could not fully let them go herself because she doesn't know what that would involve.
She kind of
could I
brings
speed that
Vesper.
up?
Oh, yeah. She kind of Vesper just kind of is looking at her, is just saying, "You said they made you do it. Care to elaborate? Who's they?"
And she starts crying even more at that and says, "Oh, you know, the people in charge, the people pulling the strings. My mentor. I don't know about others. I wouldn't know. That's not the sort of thing that they would share with me, but
Did so you did your mentor have this vision and then shared it with you?
no, I had this vision.
And you told your mentor. and then they forced you to lie to the director about what you actually saw so that we would come here so that your mentor could deal with us?
My mentor said it had to happen. It's terrible. What's going to happen is terrible.
And icing us will prevent the terrible thing.
You being here will prevent a terrible thing. It looks like nothing I've ever seen before. People talk about the resurrected monsters, but nobody knows what they are and what they look like. I was going to say they're ghost stories, but ghost stories are actually real, but this one, it's the size of this building, and it is made out of bone, and it has too many teeth, and its eyes are this glowing blue, and I think it's called the Veil on Weaver. And it sings. It sings. And it's the most beautiful and it's the most terrible song I've ever heard.
Do you know who we resurrected in your vision?
I don't want to answer that.
Because you're afraid we'll go do it?
Because when you know the future, you can alter the outcome.
That's
Isn't
literally what you're doing right now.
Yeah,
He's
isn't that the
want
point?
Forcing me to
not-
do this right now.
No. That's what was
You
that
bringing us here,
No.
wouldn't that have already interrupted what was supposed to happen? Is
what's
that
the
not
fucking
what your
point?
mentor said?
Do we
Was your
have to
mentor-
die to prevent it? Why did you come in attacking us?
You didn't give me a chance to attack you.
True.
You shut the door.
Why
We're
would we?
suspicious.
What did your mentor want to do with us? Who is your mentor, for the record?
What are you going to do if I give you that information?
Tell the director they manipulated you into making some very poor life decisions.
No.
And maybe
no,
then they can get a
that's-
flesh stitcher to put your arm back on.
No, that's going to be so bad. I'm going to be the catalyst for something so terrible.
I'll arm wrestle him.
I don't think that's how things are decided. And I think if you were to do that, you would rip their arm out of their socket.
I'll
Look,
trigger.
Therefore,
Look.
altering the future. I'm sure they still had 2 arms in your vision if they were there.
Are you looking to make a deal? Are you trying now to make a deal with the 4 angry people looking at you? You're allowed to say yes.
And she looks at each of you in turn and then shakes her head and says, "No, I would rather die."
Sick. So, are you working for Corvus Dominion or what?
What? No. Not lying.
Okay.
She's not lying.
Open the door.
Wait. You didn't want to bring us here. Yes? Bringing us here ends this. You don't want to end this. Petra looks delighted, in a very creepy way. What do you want from this now?
I'm gonna say, make me another diplomacy roll.
I certainly will. I certainly will not.
Oh no!
I don't enjoy this. I don't think I have anything that will fix that. Oh, I have an extra die. What am I talking about? That did not help. That's a 3. It is my highest.
No.
And she looks at you. You are making what seems to be a persuasive argument, and I think honestly that's one of those dice rolls that makes sense because it's a persuasive argument. What you're saying makes perfect sense, and there is something in it she does not like, and you just see her like tamping down her emotions.
Can I just casually, just the I haven't really talked about the passive spell that I have that is basically, reading vibe checking people, but specifically the ability to spot who can be of use to you. Knowing my feelings on this, could she be of use to me?
What would you consider to be of use to you?
Knowing how we might do what she said we might do, willingness to help or look the other way, perhaps.
So every indication you are getting, she would not be of use to you in that way because she clearly came in here with an agenda that she is not ready to let go. Whether that agenda could align with your agendas is debatable, but looking the other way, betraying her mentor, probably not in the cards.
Understood. I think Petra just sort of sits back, still on the floor, has been on the floor this entire time, has not stood up. Sort of sits back. Pity. You could have done great things.
And she looks
She'll
like she
stand up and
wants
head to
to
the
say
door.
something, but she doesn't respond.
That's fine. Petra gets up and walks to the door.
So to clarify, my brother wasn't actually involved in anything that would require a brain.
Of course not.
I knew it.
I told you. He was just bait for you.
I mean, honestly, if somebody had told me before I left my school, then I wouldn't have came because I wouldn't have believed it. So it's probably smart they waited until I got here to mention his name.
I think Vesper wants to try to approach one of the spirits, and I know with spirits it can be a little weird, but necromancers can interact with them to some degree. I want to see if she can. You said the mouths were stitched shut.
Like closed shut, like they don't even exist on the face.
Oh darn. Okay, never mind then.
You can approach them if you would like, and I will give you a moment to think on that. And just go over to check in on Vale and what Vale would like to do.
I know it's hard to believe because we rocked your shit so thoroughly, so immediately, which I know it's 4-on-1, but I thought y'all were supposed to be the best of the best. So, there's that. But hey, hot respects. But we're not actually trying to be bad guys here. We don't want to cause ancient horrors from beyond the grave. I mean, no more so than usual.
I mean, speak for yourself.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
okay. I don't want to cause any ancient horrors from beyond the grave, beyond the usual.
understood.
Present company accepted, gesturing to the ghosts. Tell me what you want, and I'll see if I can get it to you. If that is a thing that is within our power to do or to not do. And if the answer is, I don't know, fuck off, stick your thumb up your ass, and don't leave Hecate for a couple of months, dope. Sweet, I'll do it. What is it? What will prevent the bad thing?
You asked what I wanted. I can't leave this room alive.
You don't want to?
How long do you have to remain dead after you leave the room?
Hmm.
We're getting into dangerous territory there, aren't we?
I mean, technically, if it's within a certain few minutes, you can just defibrillate the heart and jumpstart it again. No resurrection ritual necessary. It's a very short window, but
I'm pretty sure a neuromancer can simulate brain death pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the vagus nerve alone, I could control pretty much. I can control most of your organs. I think really the gut is the only thing I can't fuck up. I mean,
So,
I can make you shit yourself, but it's not really control over the gut.
you terrify me.
she's an artist.
Would that be enough?
It would have to be complete death.
I mean,
Why?
all of us can do that.
Why do you need to die?
It needs to be believable.
For who? Your mentor?
At the least, I mean, I made it clear the trouble I'm gonna be in. This wasn't how it was supposed to go.
How is it supposed to go?
I was supposed to bring you here. You were supposed to talk to the others. Things were going to be bad if that happened. There would be a fight, and someone would die.
Who?
She's not going to tell us who.
It can't hurt to ask.
I can make it hurt to ask.
I really want to know. Come on.
Then we know who not to kill.
Yeah,
would-
we're all so pretty. Don't you just want to tell us?
It would break your hearts to know.
Would it?
Yes.
Who we kill?
Who is killed?
So
Is it one of us?
We don't kill them. We just bring them back. So how about we prevent them from being killed in the first place, Nell? How about we tell the director who to immediately put in protection so they don't get killed? And that way there's no resurrection.
This information could save everyone. No.
The information could save everyone, yes.
And that's why you're not going to give it to us.
Yes.
Why don't you want to save everyone?
Because you've
I
got some
do.
kind of because you've got some kind of binding on you. That's why you've got to die. Sick. So, how are we gonna get your ghost? All right. 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 Cool. 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 Sick. 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 Petra. What kind of sick as shit ghost shit can we do to once we ice her? What kind of sick as shit ghost shit can we do to make sure that she doesn't like fall under whatever kind of fucked up
Hey,
shenanigans
God.
here?
Two
What's up?
questions.
Yeah.
First question. The ghosts that are stuck in this room, does that seem like a thing that would happen to all ghosts, or does it seem like these ghosts have some weird shit going on, keeping them here?
Is that's what gonna happen to Nell if we off her?
It definitely seems possible. I mean, you can see, Petra, that the ghosts are connected to Nell, so theoretically, if they're here, she would be here.
Hey Nell, whose ghosts are these?
Can't just ask someone that question.
Why the fuck not?
I don't know. I was just told to bring them with me.
By your mentor.
Yes.
Can you bring them back out?
Do they look
If
familiar?
you were to leave.
They do not look familiar. So none of them are people you recognize. In fact, they look, wrong in a lot of different ways. Like, not only are they mouthless, they don't really have discernible or distinguishable facial features. But you're pretty sure it isn't anyone like you feel a connection with.
Have I seen ghosts do this before?
No. Ghosts that you see always resemble the person that they were in death. These look like they've almost been like molded as spirits. Like they were just clay being sculpted.
Excellent. That leads into my second question. Hey, God. Can I mold him back? Can I make one of these convincingly look like Nell? Given, my history.
I think that's fair. I would like you to roll for that, of course, because
For sure,
this is
for sure,
magic
for
and
sure.
also spend it well.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that is fair. I am going to ask you to use bone
This feels
again.
spur of the moment. I was gonna say, this feels like using my powers for not what they're supposed to be used for, so I could argue nerve.
I'll let you do that. I'll take that argument.
Okay. Seems off the cuff. A little bit. Thank you. That is a 6 in there.
Beautiful.
If you can make the body convincing, I can make the rest.
I think the issue is that she has to die for whatever thing is binding her to release, so she can talk to us.
Or the
Unless we
person who
kill
put the
the
binding
other
on
end
her.
of the bind. Yes.
She doesn't seem to want us to do that. Is your mentor the one that binded you? Bound you? What's the word?
We're necromancers, not linguists.
Language. English, it's a language I
Language is not a
occasionally
school of
speak.
necromancy, unfortunately.
She says, "You mean bound me so that I couldn't speak?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And she's lying.
About what part? The whole thing?
I'm gonna lean down and I'm gonna just run my hand up the side of her face and grip her jaw right here. And I don't know if you know this, but that is the most painful nerve in the body to have pressure placed on. That's your trigeminal nerve. And I'm gonna fuck that shit up.
Incredible. I'm gonna have you roll for this.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think it would be bone. Because I feel like this is something kind of rooted in your studies and experience, and I'll give you an extra dice.
Fine. Five.
So you have a choice. We have a success with a consequence, or we have a failure.
Give me that consequence.
I'm afraid.
She screams, obviously, because this is exceedingly agonizing and painful. And then says, "It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, so it doesn't matter anymore. The path is far too altered. I can't believe how many lives are going to be lost."
If it doesn't matter, then just fucking tell us.
It does matter.
I can cause you so much pain. We can cause you so much pain. Just talk.
I'm not afraid of pain. But you were supposed to kill me here.
Why?
To bring you back.
To bring me back.
Do you want to come back?
I can't come back. I mean, I have to come back, but it has to be a true resurrection.
why does that have to be the case? What does that resurrection monster do?
It tells us where the Corvus Dominion come from. It tells us how to end this.
I mean, we can still kill you.
But will you if you know that that means that creature is going to be unleashed? And she starts to say, I mean, you all clearly have moral. Maybe you don't, but you don't. Nothing in my vision suggested that you would go through with this if you actually knew.
We don't.
But so that beast comes out, a lot of people die. Corvus Dominion is allowed to keep going. A lot of people die. There's no moral choice.
Did you see that the information about where they come from and what they want would help us end this war? But
Yes.
you didn't hear what that information was, just the outcome.
The thing with this creature is it's like a blank spot in your memory. It's like a hole. And I don't know how the information gets to someone. If I had it, I would just give it to them. I don't want to die. I don't want to have to die for this, but I saw what the outcome is, and the outcome is that the Corvus Dominion are no more. Once they no longer have a place to go back to. Once we know their origin. It's like they never were here.
In your vision, were there any of us left? Or were we wiped out too?
After I saw the four of you killing me, I didn't see you again. But that doesn't mean anything. I didn't see every single person on the planet. I just saw bits and pieces, and I saw the day that it was declared that the war was over.
I'm not talking about the four of us. I'm talking about
Hecate.
Hecate. I'm talking about humans. I'm talking about necromancers. Do we survive?
Yes, of course.
Not a fucking course.
You said there's a resurrection monster.
There's always the option.
It seems like you've already made your decision, though.
If we don't kill you, you're gonna bite your tongue off? Like if I just go rip that door open, because I've been thinking about it.
If you don't kill me, whatever happens next won't matter.
We killing her or what?
I mean, while they've been talking about this, Vesper's nails have been growing. And it's just like, You feel capable of a true resurrection?
Petra has turned back from the door she was about to open a few moments ago. And there is a spear that has been kept neatly hidden. She's just twirling it. We'll bring you back. You will
think it'd
be a
be
part of something great.
I'm gonna maybe warn the director.
Won't he try to stop us?
No. I don't think so.
Petra is looking at Nell, trying to see if any indication of like, is that true? Is the director in on this? Is the director going to try to stop us? She might be too distracted. I don't know, but
Antigone, was the director lying at all at any point?
No. No, I didn't catch any lies from him.
He doesn't know anything about this. Whether or not he'd agree with the plan, I couldn't tell you, but what I will say is the second you open that door, this is out of all of our hands.
so we have to do this here and now. All of it.
I
If we do
mean,
any of it.
the true resurrection doesn't have to happen immediately, but
Will they stop us if we open the door and we have a corpse on our shoulder?
I would
We'll
imagine
be
that
like,
depends on if you tell them.
I'm bored. Killer. Are we drawing straws? I and like if nobody else is stepping up, Petra will Vale will just like say, I don't know, close your eyes, I guess, and take her head off.
Oh, her head?
She just
That's gonna
jumped
make
right
things
through the
difficult.
heart.
Oh no,
I
no,
thought you
yeah,
were gonna run her through. That's gonna make it messy.
you know, the person who could just turn off her brain didn't stand up.
I was waiting to be asked. I was trying to be polite.
I
I can
offered.
just
I was
shut
gonna
down
go right
her.
to the heart.
Going for the
I can
heart
just
with
Getting
me.
messy.
If
stop
somebody
things.
wants to stop the
We
dumbass
don't have a
from
flesh stitcher. Just sort of like a handout for the.
Good point.
We
Good
don't
point.
have a flesh stitcher.
then
Antigone, would you
somebody who's better
please
at
so?
this than I am
Antigone,
do something.
Yes, yes, yes.
do you think you can? Are you okay with this?
Oh, of course. This is fascinating.
Not even an ish.
Well, work your magic then. Make it quick. Make it painless.
I'm going to use the vagus nerve to stop her heart and her lungs and her brain.
Petra's just got a hand on Nell's cheek. Just so proud. She doesn't say anything. But she's there to catch her.
Nell looks relieved. Like she does not seem afraid of this at all. And maybe that's because you've told her you're bringing her back through true resurrection. Maybe that's because
Oh, I made no promises.
She thinks you did.
Cool.
And you can see that in her eyes. And in fact, I think she does manage to choke out, "Thank you." So you have a dead body. The ghosts immediately are untethered, and Petra, you can guide them back through the veil if you so choose.
If they would like to. I mean, if they'd like to hang out for a while, we could entertain.
They do
Is that up
seem
to them?
to want to kind of hover around you, and simultaneously, the door opens.
Princess Carrie.
And Director Bright shoves it open. Immediately, all of the bone in the room starts to move.
Nah,
And
we got it, boss.
It's handled.
what happened?
So many things.
Shenanigans.
Should probably ask her mentor.
So, this whole thing
So
was a
where-
fucking setup from the get-go.
Before we get into this, where do you keep them? You said you don't keep them here.
Oh, okay. Hey, there's ghosts. That's a thing that is happening right now. Got it. Okay, we're gonna deal with that. There is a dead student.
We're working on that too.
Have so many questions. I
just have the one. Where do you keep them?
There is a specific space where they stay because the veil, being thin, does all sorts of things with other magic, and it's a mess. And anyways, I can show you. Dead student?
Yes. It is important that she comes with. You should also get the floor checked out. Perhaps by one of mine.
They would be able to take care of the ghost situation.
Oh yeah, that's not good either. What the fuck is happening here?
So, funny story. It
We
was
can
a
keep the chorus from coming out.
It was a setup. We was set up. That vision of the Corvus infiltrating apparently never happened, but a vision of the four of us showing up, committing resurrection, causing a resurrection monster to show up, and getting that resurrection monster to tell us how to defeat the Corvus Dominion, and getting an answer, that did happen. So
Petra's like, what the fuck are you saying?
You said a lot of words there. I have
I said a
questions
lot of
about a
words.
lot of them.
Yeah, yo. Me too, man.
So
we had a lot of questions too.
Okay.
Not for you.
Yeah, no, I get it
answered.
about the situation. Yeah, no, I got that. Okay, why is she dead?
She literally begged us.
We can't bring someone back who isn't dead.
So you're telling me you all want to do true resurrection and bring about a resurrection monster?
You asked us to keep the Corvus out of the school. This is how we do that. If you
thought
would like to change our mission, that may be up to you. But as of now, this is how we accomplish what we are set here to do.
I'm happy to not do that, if I'm being fully honest.
Why?
But I'm also happy to bring this up, to kick this up the chain and maybe set it off as, like, I don't know, a controlled demolition, per se. Like, we don't gotta do it, like, here. Right?
Petra's ready to run if this guy tries to, like, corral any of us. Petra's ready to fucking tip.
I mean, I've gotta run this up the chain. Like, I don't have another choice.
Nah, sick.
Would you like to have another choice?
I don't think you can give that to me. Thank
We
you for
can keep you
offering.
from making that choice for a little while, if you'd like.
Are you threatening me?
Look, if you want someone to
I-
corroborate what her actual vision was, talk to her mentor. She told her mentor, and her mentor told her to lie about it to make sure her vision happened.
Okay, yeah, my concern is you've told me that I guess she wanted to die so you could resurrect her so that we could have a resurrected monster show up that's going to tell us something about the Corvus Dominion. Okay, I've got all of that. What I'm concerned about is you don't all seem to be on the same page, and I'm definitely not on the same page with you in terms of whether or not we're actually doing this. And so, what I'm afraid of is I'm going to walk away. You're going to go do a true resurrection. This shit's going to happen. My ass is going to be in a whole lot of trouble.
That is a possibility, yes. You've not told us to do otherwise, though, so.
Yeah, because I can't make that choice either way. Like you were saying, Vale, the controlled demolition. I can't decide that on my own. That's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
for the
yeah.
council to decide.
Yo, dope thing about true resurrection, dope thing about it is that we don't gotta decide like right this second, right? That was the whole thing. It
Nell
ain't
said
gotta
it
be
didn't have to be this second. She just had to die in that room before the door opened.
exactly. We're playing right into her hands. Is exactly what. Fuck.
She had a good hand, all told.
I mean, sort of looks at it on the floor.
Right,
Oh.
we may need that, actually.
Yeah,
Do we
it'd
have
be nice to give
you
it
have
back to her.
flesh stitchers? I don't think it's necessary strictly, but it would help. I reckon she'd feel better about it.
Okay. Okay. Can the four of you please not bring her back until I have an answer from the council? I said, please.
Will
I
you be bringing our names up and getting us in trouble on the off chance that they say no?
How are they going to get me in trouble? I don't even go here.
The council, I think, could get any of us in trouble, and by trouble I mean deceased.
I don't.
If they don't like what we're doing, they will stop us. Are you prepared for that?
I mean, I think I'm more wondering, are you prepared for that? You seem to have made up your mind. Some of the rest of you seem a little uncertain, but you seem to have made up your mind. So,
Yes.
Petra.
Yes.
I'm going to follow whatever the council says.
Will you at least give us a heads up if we need to run?
Why would you need to run if you
Exactly. We were
haven't
just doing
resurrected
our
her?
mission.
Yeah, no, we've done nothing wrong here, Petra. You are being hella paranoid, which I know that's part of your charm. We appreciate that about you.
Well,
But I
hypothetically, if they knew who killed her, could one of us get in trouble for murder? Maybe,
If they knew that
we're
we were
necromancers ad
intending to.
novum.
We did sort of have a license to kill when we came here. I don't know if that was just me
She asked
or.
us to.
Yeah, that's not the concern. Like,
Yeah.
that's
cool.
not the concern. Nobody's going to be in trouble for the fact that there is a dead body right here.
No.
The concern is
In
that
I
we're
mean,
fact,
you seemed
asking
pretty
the
concerned about
question.
it.
I mean, I was shocked because, you were just supposed to be asking her questions about her vision and now she's dead. So,
That
like,
was our intent until she got aggressive, and then we acted faster than she did and had a whole lot of questioning to understand what she actually wanted to get out of this.
We asked a lot of questions. We did not get a lot of answers, and we had to be pretty.
So there was a binding on her, so she couldn't give us a lot of answers.
Mhm.
Also,
What?
you should ask her mentor about that.
Actually, no, she was lying about that.
Oh, she
It was
was?
not her mentor.
Who put the binding on her?
Whoever teaches the Seer, Seer.
Sick. Sick. Dope.
Okay. Okay.
Who put the binding on her?
All I'm gonna ask is that the four of you don't bring a body back unless I come back and say we're good to go.
Okay, cool. All I'm gonna ask for all of our sakes is, well, actually, two things. One, where can we store her in the meantime? And two, do you have a cafeteria? Because we just worked really hard and I am really hungry.
Yes and yes. We'll get the ghosts put where they're meant to be. We'll get her into our morgue. It's not really used as a morgue ever, except for occasionally, you know what you do. And he gestures towards Antigone. And then I'll get you food. Okay. Yes. Let's start walking. Let's address this. Let's not draw too much attention to ourselves. God,
Oh,
this is
and
fucked up.
now that I know my brother isn't a conniving piece of shit, I would love to see him.
Yeah, we can make that happen too. We will have a reunite. We will reunite you with your brother. Yeah. Okay. We've got a list, and he just starts moving at this point.
Splendid.
Sick.
Is Nell's ghost around?
I was about to ask if Petra could sense that.
It is
Technically.
not, and that seems a little weird.
Even when we're like next to the weird veil spot.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Keeping an eye on that.
She's dead. The binding wouldn't be on her anymore.
And so my big question for the four of you is, do you go and enjoy some food in the cafeteria, have a reunite with your brother Antigone, and wait for Director Bright's return? Or do you take matters into your own hands while he is gone?
I'm going to take some matters into my own hands. I want to find out who Nell's mentor was.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like that info too. I would also Vesper also kind of leans into Petra and is like, where can you feel her spirit anywhere?
Not yet.
I would really be interested in knowing who put that binding on her.
I have a theory.
What's your theory? You think she put it on herself?
I think very few people can manipulate spirits in the way that someone must have to do this. I think
She
there's a
wasn't a
professor we
seer.
ought to see.
And so, Vale, you are able to piece together, and I mean, you are kind of in this way more making an assumption, probably than asking some of the other students to corroborate it. But if Nell is here, she would likely have been similarly top of her class, and you know that Elias is the Haruspex, who is the head of that school.
So Elias is the head of the Haru Spicy School.
Yes.
And but Petra, you're saying you suspect this might be a seer, not a Haruspex.
I don't think a Haruspex alone could have done this. And I don't think a Haruspex alone would want this done. What we need to do is something a seer would need to be involved in, as far as I'm aware. I've been wrong before.
I've heard it's not required, but it does help.
Not
Though-
for the resurrection,
Oh. For the
But-
ghost? Oh, yes. That would definitely need.
for specifically what it would bring with it and doing it here. I don't think a Haruspex could do it alone.
Got a dumb idea.
You have the best dumb ideas.
Yeah, we're talking team ups. Talking team ups. You know how I love a team up? We got someone who does psychometry. And we've got a neuromancer. Can y'all pull that vision out of her brain? Working together? It's inanimate matter right now, but it's probably not full soup yet at this point.
If you could keep it alive,
What's the harm in trying?
I'd be willing to give it a go. I can
Really?
modify memories. Surely I can help extract them.
Probably would have been a much cooler idea if she were like still alive. But then her spirit would be getting all up in the ganglia.
If her spirit's what's bound, this might be the way around it.
It's just a thought.
The death is still recent. You might still have a window to try that. Let's do it.
I would love for you to try that, and I'm going to actually give that to you for free because I think that is such a great idea. And so
Yes, narrative rewards.
Antigone, let's get weird.
I
what Antigone
will,
does best.
before I describe the vision, as we will likely end tonight on that vision,
Oh boy.
Shit, yeah. Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
what does it look like as the two of you do this?
I like to think
I
like we're each on one side of her head. Like one of us, or we both have like one hand on our temple, but then our other hands are kind of like grasped. So we're like melding our magic together to pull it out. That's how I'm picturing
yeah.
it.
I think there's one hand is on, Antigone's, and I think the other is just sort of because all of Petra's magic is sort of mental. I think she's just sort of has a hand on Nell's temple, just sort of like stroking her hair. Just trying to figure out where that spirit is, trying to pull that out and to the side, clear it out. So that you can get it just like the raw fucking synapses.
Cool. Yeah.
Like Petra's fully like up on whatever desk we've laid her on, like fully up on their cross leg, just like up in her business. Is not weirded out by a corpse whatsoever.
Incredible. It feels easier than you would have expected. It almost feels like she wanted this because there is no resistance. As soon as the nerves are active and you are then capable of connecting with her in that way, Petra, the images are flashing through your head at almost an overwhelming rate. And you are seeing her. You are seeing a mixture. You are seeing her sitting in, you realize, Elias's office, clearly having just told him what they had seen. And then you are seeing those images. You are seeing yourselves, not in Director Bright's office, but in what looks like maybe the gym. It's a large open space. It's a little hard to see the walls, but You are locked in a battle with Nell. She is fighting back, and those ghosts that are tethered to her are wrecking your shit. But you can tell that her heart isn't in this. Like, she knows how this is going to end, but they need to make a convincing show. And I mean, you see Vale swinging her sword. You see Vesper claws all the way out, climbing on the walls, leaping off of them, slashing.
I hope Antigone gets to see this vision too, then, because she probably hasn't seen Vesper do that
I
shit.
actually did want to say, I think if the two of you are connected, you are seeing this as well, Antigone. I can't give it to you, Vale, and you,
No, that's
Vesper,
fair.
but the two of you, I think, are sharing this. You are then seeing yourselves, you, Petra, trying to wrestle control of the spirits, trying to get them to stand down. You, Antigone, absolutely using your abilities to spread pain all through Nell's body. I don't know if you've ever felt the pain you cause, but you get to feel that and experience that in this moment. You look thoughtful, so I wanted to give you a chance to process that and think about that.
I was just thinking about how in I don't know where I got this logic from or where I got this memory, but like how supposedly when people who are trained to use tasers are often told to practice on
Yep.
themselves so they know
Yep.
what it feels like. And so I was like, maybe she would though. Maybe even out of just curiosity,
I feel like
she would have
that's on par
tested it.
for
Like,
She
You have to neuromance each other before you can get your neuromancy license.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah.
I mean, you
She's
have a
felt
brother.
some of it.
Yeah,
You
that
you
is
have
do
a
have a
brother.
brother.
There's no way you didn't go like, no,
Listen,
tase
as somebody
me.
who has a
Ah!
brother, that's what that's for, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. We absolutely I mean, it probably wasn't quite as bad as what I can actually do, but I have experienced some of the I've definitely had this triggered a couple times before.
Remote.
Yeah. I was going to say, you do realize your skill is so much better than your brother's. You're like, that was nothing. Like, what he did, I thought that was bad, but, he doesn't know shit. So you're seeing all of that, and you're seeing the moment when Nell finally falls on Vale's blade and bleeds out there on the floor. And then you see a glimpse of her opening her eyes and looking up. And it's not actually the four of you standing around her. It's people you don't recognize. They are students, presumably, based on how they're dressed and the fact that they aren't people who hold any type of authority that you've ever seen. But she looks up at them and says, "Is it done?" And they nod. And then you see what happens after. You see a smaller resurrected monster, not the monstrosity that she described, but the first of the three that will follow. And you see glimpses of some of your mentors, others who you know are powerful in wielding magic, working to take it down, and then taking down the next, and then the horror of that third, which is exactly as Nell described. It is an absolute horror, and you both know that you will never get the sound of those 1,000 voices singing out of your head. But it has that information, and you can't grasp it because Nell couldn't grasp it. But you do see the outcome, and you almost pause the vision. because what you see is Corvus Dominion ended. It's a newspaper headline. And you're staring down at it, and then you lower that paper and you look around the city. And the city is in ruin. It's not empty of people. You can see others, but buildings are destroyed, obliterated entirely. Places are burned. The number of people looks a lot smaller than it should be, than it is now. But the look in the eyes of the people you see around you is one of relief, is one of gratitude, despite the horrors that they've experienced. And that ends tonight's episode. Will we pick it up again? The cast threatened to bully me into a second session during break, so
we didn't
maybe
say
that's
bully.
possible.
We said gentle peer
Affectionate,
pressure.
yes.
We said get in the comments.
I mean,
said,
bro, now we gotta fight at least one resurrection beast.
I want to fight a resurrection.
I just think it would be
Or
fun
monster.
and cute if you let me commit atrocities.
I was promised teeth. Is
That's
what
true.
I'm saying.
You promised them teeth.
This is
true.
This is true. Listen, this is Chekhov's
quoted-
jawbone.
I was quoted teeth.
Jawbone. Incredible.
Title of my autobiography.
So I know it is late. I'm gonna get us through outros a little bit more quickly, but I hope everyone watching had fun, and I hope you all had fun. Anyone who stayed here until
Yes.
midnight, I hope you enjoyed.
you.
If you did not stay here until midnight, I hope you're checking out the VOD. So let's go through and give people a quick rundown of who you are, a reminder of all the awesome things you do, and then we'll call it a night. And I'm going to start with you, Della.
Sick. Hi, I'm Della. I have been Veilbinder. I am not normally a feral jock. Actually, that's completely not true. You can find me playing Rachel Blauhair and or Siobhan in Redacted on Thursdays at Live from the Apocalypse. This coming Thursday, you can find me GMing Thy Kingdom Come, our Urban Shadows campaign. And if you really want, you can follow me on Blue Sky at Derla Kernlands. And that's kind of what I do.
And you have a spinning wheel that is amazing.
Yes, and I have a spinning wheel that is amazing. Her name is Roxy, and she's wonderful. And my new drive band just shipped today. So,
yes, we love to see it. All right, Kit, just a little guy.
Just a little guy. As always, I didn't mean for it to happen, but the little guy comes for us all. Hi guys. I'm Kit, your frequent little guy on all channels. Tonight I was your seer. You can find me most places online at Kit Roll. Roll is in roleplay, I'm sure you understand. Or on Twitter as it burns at Kit Roll Cause, because that one has to be different for some reason. Specifically though, you can find me tomorrow and every other Saturday over on the Lost Caravan with Fatal Ascension, our fabulous Ultima campaign, where I play everyone's favorite automaton on the run from apparently multiple countries now. Don't worry about it, it's fine. She's just a little guy who's done nothing wrong in her life. No war crimes, not here. Don't worry about it. Starting later this month, which I'll probably let JD talk a little bit more about, Season of Secrets and Shadows is back, so you can catch me as your favorite country girl turned vampire turned court goer. Just, trying to survive, I don't know, maybe a war? We don't know. The night is young. The world is weird. We'll see what happens. Elise is just trying to smooch everybody. And it's going pretty okay. All things considered. On the 20th, you can catch the premiere of Beacons of Farlight, a new campaign over on High Shelf Collective using the Beacon system, where I am playing an elemental shapeshifter looking for answers and acceptance 300 years after the fall of civilization. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be sick. It's a brand new campaign happening. Go check that out. And of course, if you like magical girls, queer narratives, and stories of hope amongst defeat, catch Bloom and Blight, the Girl by Moonlight actual play podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, we just put up episode 4. Episode 5 comes out next week. It's going to be sick. It's going to be awesome. Episode announcements and clips, find us on all socials, basically at Bloom and Blight. And for cast and character info and transcripts of all of our episodes, because I'm a stickler for that, go to bloomandblight.com. So that's all I can plug for now, I think. But keep an eye on the socials, and I will drop more as I'm able. I'm tired, guys.
All of that, Kit. No, that was incredible. And the things you do are incredible. And jumping over to you, Chrissy.
Oh, hi, I'm Chrissy. I roll dice and make dirty jokes. I have been on a very long, break's the wrong word because I've still been doing things, but just a slowdown. So as of right now, I actually don't know. I have a really fun horror movie marathon thing coming out with Crossroads. I just don't know when. We've been recording it. I think they're hoping to put it out in October. I think that's the general idea, but I'm not sure. But keep an eye on Crossroads for that. You'll see me playing with Crossroads somewhat frequently, and maybe a little bit more frequently next year. And then I've also got Ways and Wanderings. We are going to New Jersey Web Fest this year. So that is a thing that is happening, and we are also going to be recording more episodes for season 2 of that. That you can watch the current ones on YouTube right now. And yeah, aside from that, just watch my Twitter space.
And gonna have to get you back for a second episode of this. Clearly.
Yes.
You heard it here first. Confirmed.
Confirmed. We all know me. We know how this is gonna go.
We didn't even have to bully you.
No,
Not hard.
Didn't. And Steph.
I'm Steph. I've been Vesper, the Keratinist. I always try to say that differently than I think it should be pronounced, but who knows which one is correct. You can catch me in a season of Secrets and Shadows, not this coming week, but I'm at Table 2, so in 2 weeks from now, Table 2, getting up to shenanigans. You can also catch me in Redacted, where I am Kai and also sometimes Rebecca. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. You could also see me in the part 2 of JD's 2-shot, The Last Lost Broadcast, a Monster of the Week on Tuesday, and on Wednesdays over at Bleak Seasons channel for his Penny Dreadful game, A Strange Death in Paradise, that we are running. Solving a mystery there. So yeah, you can check us out somewhere.
So many good things that are in the works, and that makes my job easy because I don't really have to plug anything because all of you have done it for me. The only thing I'm going to plug is tomorrow night. If you would like to stop by Exquisite Corpse Presents at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we start games late, I will be playing in Sister Cities, our non-magical D&D campaign, where I just play a ghostly boy who is in way over his head, and isn't that just the type of character I always play? And we love to see it. Otherwise, I will be showing up for 90% of the things other people plugged. Keep an eye on the Twitter, and you will know where I am on any given night/day at any given time, because there is a lot of things happening in the next few weeks. And I think with that, because it is late and it has been a week, we are going to call it a night. We will pop over and raid someone, so if you are able to hang along for that, do so, play nice, say hello, all of those things. We are going to say goodnight, and we will be back streaming next with Live from the Apocalypse on Sunday for Veilbreakers, I believe. I may lie to you. If I have lied to you, you will see it on the Twitter. If not, we will be back on Sunday.
Chrissy, is he lying? Use your magic powers.
Not
is he
intentionally.
Lying? Okay. Close enough.
Della, am I lying? Oh, God.
I should know that, but with Geodis' schedule, it is never knowable.
It'll be surprised.
Exactly. I will update the Twitter and you will find out. But for now, everybody, give everybody a bone-filled good night.
Good
I can do that, but I don't
night.
think. Well, I get TOS.
Wonderful evening.